Others live there now.
Why is he demonizing the youth, you're going to ask once you hear from Darren White? You know, there's kids that sometimes make silly decisions in Oakland, like in Chicago.
It's unreal.
I'm a black man born and raised in Oakland. When I walk out the house every day, I want to be safe. So if that calls for whoever commits the crime to be prosecuted, so be it. But we want it to be fair and just.
Darren White is with the NAACP Oakland branch, which penned an open letter to their city, blaming failed leadership, the defund the police movement, and anti-police rhetoric for creating a heyday for Oakland criminals.
We're not trying to say, mass incarceration and arrest everyone. We want the people that are out here committing these violent crimes arrested and charged.
Do we need more cops on the street?
Yes, we do need more. Every community needs police.
What Darren White said is indistinguishable from what we say, from what John Cantanzara, FOP head. I'm sure the local FOP head in Oakland would say as well. Isn't that interesting? Okay. Nothing to see here, the left wants you to believe. Nothing to do here except deal with guns coming in from out of state. And arm yourself with an air horn. Coming up at 5:38, we'll stay on this because the counterexample to Darren White is this couple who was vacationing from Nevada in New York and was assaulted along with their 11-year-old daughter on the subway before they left. But the reaction from this honky couple from Nevada is also part of the cultural problem.
And you know how I keep saying Chicago's becoming Detroit? We have a graphic example of that, but now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
66 degrees at 5:30 in a dense fog advisory up for the western suburbs. A lottery player in Florida has won $1.58 billion in a Mega Millions jackpot. A Publix grocery store in Neptune Beach, Florida, sold that winning ticket. Wildfires on Maui, fanned by strong winds, have burned multiple structures, forcing evacuations, people even jumping into the ocean. It's all caused by power outages in several communities that are sparking fires. Those power lines went down because Hurricane Dora is passing to the south of the island chain, partly to blame for the strong wind gust and the grounded firefighting helicopters. Ohio voters went to the polls Tuesday for a special election with just one measure on the ballot, known as Issue 1. The statewide ballot measure would have increased the percentage of the vote needed to amend the state's constitution from a simple majority to 60%.
If you want to change the law, change the Constitution, we should have a higher standard.
Republican Lieutenant Governor John Husted, who backed Issue 1, voters rejecting the issue right now, 57 to 43%. French authorities say 11 people are missing after fire broke out early this morning at a holiday home for people with disabilities in eastern France near the border with Germany. 41 are believed dead after a migrant boat capsized off Tunisia, according to Italian state television. More Americans than ever are dipping into their 401k accounts because of financial distress. That's from Bank of America data this morning. The numbers of those who did so during the second quarter spiked from the same time last year by 36%. Opening statements begin today in the perjury trial of the longtime chief of staff of former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan. Timothy Mapes is charged with lying to a grand jury in the federal probe that led to Madigan's indictment last year in a racketeering case. Village trustees of Wilmette voted to adopt a resolution during a village board meeting Tuesday objecting to Evanston's zoning changes that would allow for outdoor concerts at Ryan Field. Senta Plunkett is the board president.
Through this resolution, we are sending Western University and the Evanston City Council that commercializing an educational facility's athletic campus in this manner in a residential neighborhood to drive profits is wholly unacceptable.
The vote revolves around an $800 million renovation project for Ryan Field that was first proposed in September of 2022. Prosecutors have dropped charges against a white former Chicago police officer captured on video struggling with a black woman who was walking her dog along a closed Lake Michigan beach. 53-year-old Bruce Diker had been charged with official misconduct and aggravated battery before charges were dropped on Tuesday. He had pled not guilty. Indiana State Police this morning tell us they've arrested a Chicago man after a police chase in Henry County yesterday. 29-year-old Devontae Smith is facing felony charges of resisting police with a vehicle and possessing stolen property. He's a suspect in a carjacking with a woman and a child inside earlier yesterday morning and was driving that vehicle when troopers noticed him speeding and chased him along I-70 just east of Indianapolis. They stopped that vehicle in Knightstown, and he was tased when he tried to run away. Mike Tauchman, a solo home run, Cubs over the Mets at Citi Field, 3-2, while the White Sox allow 13 hits in a 7-1 loss to the Yankees at guaranteed rate. The news service of MyPillow, where queen-size MyPillows, regular price $69.98, are now only $19.98 with promo code LIBERTY. Visit MyPillow.com and use that promo code LIBERTY. A check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
Charlie Kirk believes action should be taken.
I don't like impeachments. I don't think it should be done lightly. With that being said, we know impeachments are largely theater. We know that it's just largely performative. We have absolutely no choice but to pursue impeachment of Joe Biden and his cartel of criminals around him. We shouldn't celebrate this. It is 100% necessary.
The Charlie Kirk Show. Afternoons at 1, right before Sebastian Gorka at 3 on AM 560. The Answer.
You are invited to attend the Father's Tom Art Show, inspiring faith in God through beauty with Father Tom Loya and Father Tom Coys. Sunday afternoon, August 13th from 2 until 4. You'll enjoy original art by both priest artists, Father Tom Loya and Father Tom Coys. Stroll through the different galleries featuring original art, while also enjoying a light summer sangria wine and cheese buffet. Learn how beauty can lead to a deeper longing for the divine artist. That's the Father's Tom Art Show with both artist priests, Father Tom Loya and Father Tom Coys. Sunday afternoon from 2 until 4, August 13th at Annunciation Byzantine Catholic Church, 14610 South Wilcook Road, Homer Glen, Illinois. The Father's Tom Art Show is co-sponsored by Annunciation Byzantine Catholic Church and the Sag Bridge Mission Society.
The Daily Herald 2022 Best of the Fox winner for Best Financial Planner is Total Clarity Wealth Management. The 2022 Reader's Choice Award winner for Best Wealth Management Firm and Best Financial Planner is Total Clarity Wealth Management. Are you ready for a change? Choose Total Clarity Wealth Management. With a professional team of financial advisors and CPAs, they can show you the way to financial readiness and keep you on track. Their philosophy is built on solid relationships and trust, with access to expertise in tax planning strategies, 401k rollover services, estate planning, and more. They can help you be ready for anything.
Hi, this is Terry Murphy. The cornerstone of our practice has been to help clients stay focused on their goals throughout life's changes.
Get in touch with them at TotalClarityWealth.com. That's TotalClarityWealth.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial Member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Total Clarity Wealth Management Inc., a registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial. Awards are based on number of reader votes. This award is not representative of the views of clients and is not indicative of future performance or services.
The New York Times calls BritBox the best of British telly. Extreme Brilliant series you can only find on BritBox. Start a free trial at BritBox.com.
5:38. How about we get a check of the roads this morning? Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. Inbound Kennedy, 22 minutes. O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. You're jammed up at Foster. Brake lights on the Stevenson inbound between Damon and the Ryan Expressway. 26 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Bishop Ford inbound already jamming up from 115th into the Ryan merge. And delays on the CTA Blue Line this morning, east and westbound, continue and will continue through late August between LaSalle and the Medical District. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. We'll have some sun today, then turning cloudy with a chance of a thundershower late in the afternoon, a high of 84. 66 right now with a dense fog advisory for the western suburbs. Your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy are talking about Oakland and black residents who are fleeing. Local NAACP chapter calling for more police and more prosecutions. You know, being white supremacists.
Right. It's MAGA country there in Oakland, right?
And CNN reporting this all. Damn CNN and their fear porn.
Kyung Lau, the reporter, yes.
Is right-wing extremists. I mean, again, we know this is just big city living. We know this here. And some of the residents leaving, as I said, I profiled a couple of residents, including a black woman named Kristen Cook. And then she's under a gag order as soon as she steps out of Oakland. She is not allowed to think about or talk about Oakland again, because that's what we understand from the nonsense, from the bilge that spews from these awfuls in Chicago, mainly, and awful impersonators, you know, men who
pretend to be men.
Male impersonators, these angry white female leftists, the awfuls who drive this stuff, these honky awfuls who are the worst people in the world. These are the individuals who are destroying Western civilization at a faster pace than your street criminals. And here's a couple more of them. An awful and an awful impersonator. Husband and wife visiting the Big Apple from their home in Nevada. Riding the F train home around 8 p.m. on their last day in New York City. And they encountered a group of teenage girls.
Oh, boy.
Sue Young, mom, by the way, they were with their 11-year-old twin daughters. Sue Young from Nevada. I've never encountered this kind of violence. You know, you read about it in the news. I just say, oh, that's not going to happen to me. We've been to New York so many times as visitors. We love this city. I've never seen anything like this before. Young is 51 years old. She's with husband Ken, who I believe, like Ken, is in Barbie's Ken, is smooth down there.
Oh, stop it.
And they're
Why do you say that? Well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
All right.
And they're 11-year-old twins, as I said. They're minding their own business, and these three black girls start staring them down and start laughing at them, like pointing at them, laughing at them. And then, like, mom laughed along, and that only enraged them.
Oh, no.
And the insults started. And then the physical attacks started. But just listen to Miss Young's recitation of the events. And also the passengers on this subway train. Once the girls started insulting Young and family, New York Post reporting, concerned passengers asked the Youngs if they made any racial comments that sparked the assault.
No.
And
excuse me, did you say something racist?
Well, obviously.
I mean, instead of helping, they asked them if they said any racist remark.
Well, yeah, of course, because you assume if there are young black girls that are getting upset with a suburban white family, then that white family must have provoked it. That's the obvious starting point. Mom's response, of course, great question, was essentially the mom's response.
Thank you for inquiring.
The only thing I might have said was, we support Black Lives Matter. Why are you doing that? Insulting them and so forth. Yeah. Why are you so angry? Things escalated further when mom noticed another woman down the train car filming the situation and mouthed thank you to her. I smiled at her and I said thank you. I mouthed the words because I thought if the girls realize they're being recorded, perhaps they will stop what they're doing and change their behavior, although that only riled them up more. One of the girls stood up, went to the woman who was filming the situation, punched her. I mean, mom describing, punch, like repeatedly. I saw at least three, maybe two or three. That's when she stood up. As I stood up, the girl with the bleach blonde hair came up to me, and she literally was an inch away from my nose saying, "What are you going to do, bitch?" And started just yelling at me over and over, "What are you going to do?" Mom tried to push the teenager away, and then that's when the rest of the group attacked her. Well, as soon as I made contact and pushed her shoulders away, they all came after me. I backed up, but the girl in the white T-shirt came slugging at me. She grabbed my hair, I grabbed her hair, and I basically just grabbed onto her hair to shield my face because she was swinging. Glasses were thrown from her face, smashed underfoot, she said. She got a bruise under her arm when her arm became wedged between two handrails while the girls were shoving her in another direction.
Young family, by the way, is Asian. Okay. I'm watching the video right now.
When Young was finally thrown back to the bench, bystanders intervened and separated the two groups. I don't think the woman who was filming, who's Asian, Joanna Lynn is her name. She said, if there's no evidence, nothing will happen, so I just took out my phone to film. This happens literally on a daily basis, but no one films it, so people just get away with it. There was a lot of shouting, really aggressive, a lot of curse words to the family. I thought the two young girls were very scared. Well, they're 11 years old, and they're seeing their mom get beaten up.
They look scared.
And I felt like it was getting louder and louder, and I didn't know. I was scared myself. I didn't know what was going to happen. Is there anything missing from the story as I'm telling it, like in the chronological order that it's been presented? Anything missing that you can pick up on?
I'm watching the video too. Where are the men stopping this?
Where's her husband?
He's sitting down, catatonic, get up and fight for your woman and your children.
The big takeaway from this, though, I know what you're thinking, not where is the husband while they're beating up this woman filming, while they're beating up his wife, while his daughters are afraid. I know what you're thinking. What will the Young family do? How will they approach this? How will they think about this? Are they going to make this a racial thing? And I have some great news for you.
Oh, please, what?
They're not. They're not going to make this a racial thing. Young and her husband, male impersonator, both insist it was not racially motivated, the attack. The teens weren't saying any racial slurs. The only comment that could have been construed as being racially related was when they yelled, "Go back to where you came from." The mom, Sue Young, who, after being tossed around, believes the trio of teens were just trying to provoke them. It's more of just, frustrated teens, and they need to get their energies out in a way that was definitely not productive. Her husband agreed. The important thing here is I'm quoting him, we want to say we think it was absolutely not a hate crime, even though it's being investigated that way. But we believe it was not primarily racially motivated. That's the important takeaway. Oh, and they're happy that there wasn't a gun or knife in the possession of those girls. Yeah, I'd say so.
Because they were outraged. Who knows what they would have done.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
Did these girls get arrested? I mean, you can clearly see their
They're not there at large. They haven't been brought in, they haven't been taken into custody. They haven't been found, apparently, even though they're on video and their pictures are in the post. But whatever. The police prosecutions talk about that. What about people like the Youngs? What are their contributions to the mayhem in big cities, do you think? We support Black Lives Matter. Please don't roust us.
Yeah. It's like during the George Floyd riots when business owners would put on the plywood, "We love black people. BLM matters." It was sickening. We're a Hispanic company, and we have black employees.
Right. In
I
other words,
just would ride through the neighborhood and look at all this.
Don't vandalize.
Please skip us.
Don't vandalize and loot our business. Right.
Loot the honky who owns the business next door to us.
Go get
but
somebody
don't
else.
touch.
That's right.
But why'd she try to talk to these girls about why they're so angry? And you can't reason with crazy. But also, too, as you're saying, but we believe in Black Lives Matter. What?
We believe in Black Lives Matter. And hey, not racially motivated. Don't go there. Don't go there with any sort of hate crime investigation just because we're different races. Now, if the races were reversed, obviously this would be a national story.
Right.
Because they're what they are. Maybe some people in New York are talking about it, and we're talking about it here because of what the Youngs represent. What the Youngs represent is people who have capitulated to the barbarians. The Youngs are saying, I don't want to live in a peaceful society. I don't want to be free. I don't support continuing with this experiment in Western civilization we started a couple hundred years ago here. I don't want to. I will bend the knee. You just tell me when and where. This is the under-discussed part of the toxic, to borrow a favorite word of theirs, culture in big blue city America, perpetrated by and perpetuated by the Pritzkers and the BLM Brandons and the Triple Threats and the Roms and generations of sophisticated barbarians who've held public office in big cities and blue states. And it is, and those politicians gain those offices because of people like the Youngs. So they're victims, but they're also aggressors, if you will. They're victims in this case. They're aggressors in the unwinding of civilized society. They don't think they are. They think they're perfectly enlightened. I support Black Lives Matter. I speak jive. It's like Barbara Billingsley in an airplane.
In an airplane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. To appease and to placate barbarians. I know we can't use those terms. It's rapscallions. Mm-hmm. These impish scamps that have a bunch of bundled up energy and they don't know what to do with it. It's literally, Mom basically said about these teenagers on that subway.
The dad is just sitting there. Oh, my God.
Chris and Carrie are on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, guys. A few weeks ago, NBC5 Chicago put out a video of some rapper from Philadelphia called Meek Mill. He was the star of the show as they sold him to speak on Pritzker's supervised release reform bill. And all the guy did was get up there and run through a litany of things he's done. And never once did I hear him, credit anything reform-like about any bill anywhere to his turnaround. But the guy is a violent criminal who's get up there and he's being celebrated. It's just in front of all these people, and people are laughing and applauding as he's running through this list of things he's done. And then
things he's done, crimes he's committed, is what you're saying.
You can look it up. It's unbelievable, the amount of crimes he's committed. And then to top it all up, it's like a comedy. He's standing in front of the Michael Scott something center. I mean, it's like straight out of a comedy.
Well,
I know they embrace it. Lester Holt did a 3-part interview with Meek Mill. I don't understand. Why are they celebrating this guy? He's right.
Well, first of all, just again to get the language right on that, crimes he committed. crimes we committed. Because no individual is responsible for their behavior, particularly criminal behavior. What is the environment? What are the root causes that led Meek Mill or anybody else, these teenage girls, to commit crimes against another? We're all to blame. And it really doesn't make a lot of sense to spend too much time trying to distribute the blame. Let's just talk about root causes. Let's genuflect before the barbarians. Let's open up the jailhouse doors. Let's not make a big thing about this. Let's just focus on root causes and making amends for past wrongs at the macro level. What happens at the micro level? This person kills that person. Much less important, you see. We're reshaping society. There's a revolution going on. And let's not pause that revolution for these relatively marginal events of people getting robbed or carjacked or murdered. I mean, these are one-offs. Bigger picture here you have to see. Matt, Mount Greenwood.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. You're exactly right. I've got a couple things. My ex-sister-in-law she's an administrator at Taft High School, and she was physically assaulted twice. And you just can't be stupid. She's a lovely woman, but she said, no, it's just a socioeconomic problem. And it's really, to your point, she probably thought it was her fault because she had aspired to do better in life than these jackals that attacked her. And then secondly, the Youngs could have learned something from the Korean business owners in the LA riots who protected themselves during those riots, and they rallied themselves around and armed themselves. And some of the only businesses that weren't destroyed were theirs. You're right. It's the leftist white people who are destroying this country from within.
Thanks for the call, Matt. Yeah,
and getting destroyed themselves and not even, just shrugging it off as, well, it's just socioeconomic.
If only they would have had an air horn.
They need the air.
Yeah.
We need an air horn. Can we get an AM 560 air horn in here, please?
George in Naperville.
Dan, maybe they can sell BLM gift cards that people can use in those situations where they just hand them over, and then the aggressors would be able to shop and do what they have to get done.
Yeah, although George, I mean, it's a nice gesture. I like it. I like where you're going, but I mean, do they really need gift cards? I mean, don't they just take what they need? That's called reparations.
Well, it'll add to the surplus.
Yeah, very good. Thanks for the call, George.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. Your business and your money are in good hands with Signature Bank. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Dan Migatz, co-owner and CFO of AM Woodland Outdoor Design in Mundelein, and a new customer of Signature Bank. We specialize in the creative design and construction of outdoor living spaces, providing our residential and commercial customers first-in-class landscaping services. Our company was founded as a one-man operation, and today has grown into a multifaceted, one-stop shop for outdoor and indoor design and contracting needs. Signature Bank was there to provide the capital needed to grow our expansion efforts. We wanted to work with a bank that understands our business and is relationship focused. Signature Bank is what a relationship bank is all about. We're excited to continue our partnership for many years to come.
Signature Bank helps local businesses succeed. Let Signature Bank turn your business vision into reality. Visit signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is Mike Gallagher. Sign up today for an unforgettable experience in Israel this October. Dennis Prager and I are traveling to the Holy Land on the Stand With Israel tour with our trusted partner, Inspiration Cruises and Tours. This is a trip of a lifetime. You don't want to miss it. Register today before it's too late. Visit standwithisraeltour.com, standwithisraeltour.com, or call 855-565-5519, 855-565-5519. And together, let's stand with Israel.
Cable news. Noisy, out of touch, on repeat. Tired of all the lookalikes? So are we. Salem News Channel is here to change the game. Streaming 24/7, free on your TV with the greatest collection of conservative voices. Home to Dinesh D'Souza, Andrew Wilkow, Brandon Tatum, and more. Like you, we say what's wrong and what's right. Unfiltered and unapologetic. Salem News Channel. We're the answer to the mainstream media. Learn more at snc.tv.
Starting August 22nd, the U.S. dollar may have new competition from a new global supercurrency backed by Russia and China. And if the dollar plummets, your retirement could follow. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. I recommend a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get a free info kit on gold by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. I encourage you to act. Before August 22nd, text SHELTER to 989898 to get your free information kit on gold now.
AM 560, The Answer.
And real quick, I don't know if you heard it. Cameraman from Channel 7 was mugged, covering a story broad daylight on the west side yesterday. 2 offenders went up to him, asked for his phone. He said no. He ran back to the Channel 7 vehicle, put his stuff inside the car. They also asked for money. He takes off. Then the second offender smashes the window of the Channel 7 truck. It just reminds me so much of Detroit because that used to happen all the time. No one's safe.
Big city living. Now, did that get covered by ABC News? Or
No,
did
they didn't. CWB covered it.
Yeah,
because
there you go.
ABC News would not cover
of course
the crime
not.
that was committed on them.
Of course not. You need CNN to cover crime in places like Chicago or Oakland.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Governor of Massachusetts, before the migrant surge and after the migrant surge when it comes to sanctuary cities, 606.
Today, some sun turning cloudy with thunderstorms late this afternoon, a high of 84 degrees. It is now 6 a.m. WIND Chicago.
Someone's dream came true. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and they probably still can't believe their ticket matched this.
Tonight's winning numbers are 32, 19, 13, 33, 20, and the gold mega ball is 14.
That winning ticket bought at a Neptune Beach, Florida grocery store worth $1.58 billion, the biggest Mega Millions jackpot ever, third largest U.S. lottery prize ever. Ohio voters have rejected a Republican attempt to make it harder to amend the state constitution. 57% voted no.
This now sets up a fall campaign that'll become the nation's latest referendum on abortion rights since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade last year. The defeat of Issue 1 keeps in place a simple majority threshold for passing future constitutional amendments. It would have raised that to 60%.
Fox's Tom Rigotti. A brush fire is burning in Cedar Park, Texas, and it forced people to flee.
First thing I saw was my car and flames right behind it. So I just grabbed my keys. I didn't even put any shoes on. I had shoes in my car. And, I just got out of there, man.
An apartment building was destroyed. 2 others damaged. So far, just 1 minor injury reported. Wildfires are also burning in Maui and on Hawaii's Big Island, whipped up by near hurricane force winds. Some buildings have burned. There are evacuations in the Lahaina area. The Coast Guard reports they've had to rescue a dozen people from the ocean. A fire in France has left 11 people missing.
Rescue workers managed to evacuate 17 guests from the vacation home for people with disabilities. One's been taken to the hospital. The fire broke out early Wednesday in the small town of Winsenheim near the German border.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. A hearing set for Friday for a judge to consider the special counsel's request for a protective order in the election interference case against former President Trump to restrict what he says about evidence and witnesses.
Crooked Joe Biden has weaponized law enforcement.
That's the former president campaigning in New Hampshire. America's listening to Fox News.
66 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560, The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A dense fog advisory is up for the western suburbs through 8 a.m. Opening statements begin today in the perjury trial of the longtime chief of staff of former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan. Timothy Mapes is charged with lying to a grand jury in the federal probe that led to Madigan's indictment last year. Village trustees of Wilmette voted to adopt a resolution during a village board meeting Tuesday objecting to Evanston's zoning changes that would allow for outdoor concerts at Ryan Field. Senta Plunkett is the board president.
Through this resolution, we are sending a clear message to Northwestern University and the Evanston City Council that commercializing an educational facility's athletic campus in this manner in a residential neighborhood to drive profits is wholly unacceptable.
But Charlie Hutchinson, who heads the Wilmette Chamber, says most businesses in Wilmette are backing the concert plan.
I am here in objecting to the objection of the resolution. But when events happen at Ryan Field, it brings business into Wilmette. And our business owners like that. It's good for our business in downtown. It's good for business surrounding downtown.
The vote revolves around an $800 million renovation project for Ryan Field that was first proposed in September of 2022. Prosecutors have dropped charges against a white former Chicago police officer captured on video struggling with a black woman walking her dog along a closed Lake Michigan beach. 53-year-old Bruce Diker had been charged with official misconduct and aggravated battery before charges were dropped on Tuesday. Arrests were down at this year's Lollapalooza. City officials say 14 were arrested during the four-day music festival that began last Thursday. The arrest total is the festival's lowest since at least 2019. No one is in custody following a deadly shooting on Chicago's South Side. 3 jumped out of a dark sedan and began firing at 2 men standing on the sidewalk last night in the 500 block of East 72nd. Both victims suffered gunshot wounds. One died at a nearby hospital, while the other is in fair condition. Cubs over the Mets at Citi Field 3-2. White Sox lost to the Yankees 7-1. Bears claimed tight end Lachlan Pitts and linebacker Barrington Wade off waivers yesterday. Pitts went undrafted out of William and Mary in April, while Wade is a Skokie native and former Niles North standout who played at Iowa. The news service of the AM 560 mobile app. Download the AM 560 mobile app at 560theanswer.com/mobile. A check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
The mainstream media wants to divide Americans into neat little groups, and they want you to believe that everyone in each one of those groups thinks alike. John Anthony is here to blow up that lie. Join him for Black and Right this Saturday afternoon at 4, when he provides a different perspective on what it means to be black and right. This Saturday afternoon at 4, right here on AM 560. The Answer.
Russian officials recently revealed a new global supercurrency backed by physical gold will be announced on August 22nd with support from China, India, and other countries. Many economists warn this could radically change the world economy and possibly destroy the value of the dollar. And that means the value of your 401k or IRA is at risk. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. I want to urge you to protect yourself and your family right now. How? By diversifying your 401k or IRA into physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. August 22nd will be here before you know it, so take action today. Fortify your nest egg using the power of gold inside of a tax advantage account. Text PROTECT to the number 989898. That's PROTECT to 989898 to get your free information kit on gold IRAs right now.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
6:07. Let's get an update on the roads this morning. In our Team Hochberg Traffic Center, and it is a service of Fox Valley Coins, no waiting, no problems, no charge for in-store verbal appraisals. Bring your gold or silver in today, foxvalleycoins.com. We'll start on the Kennedy, 28 minutes, O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. Stevenson at 29 from 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Southbound 55, accident reported with a right lane block southbound just before US 30. And delays in Countryside this morning, Joliet Road near Willow Springs Road with an accident. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with our AccuWeather meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Some sun and turning cloudy. Thunder shower late afternoon. High today 84. A shower in spots early this evening. Then cloudy for tonight. Low 65. Sun patchy clouds tomorrow. The high tomorrow afternoon at 84. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
65 at O'Hare. Fog 58 in Aurora, where there is a dense fog advisory up until 8 a.m. Your next news update is at 6:30. Continuous news coverage at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. I'm a bit perplexed by what's going on here. You know,
What say you?
I hate when I get into this situation where I just don't know which leftist to believe. And they're all great people.
Yeah, right.
But they're saying different things, and it's got me confused. I mean, should I cast my lot with Joaquin Castro, the Dem socialist congressman from Texas?
He looks like Spock, by the way, from Star Wars.
He does look a little like.
Yeah,
or
he looks
like a Bond villain. Like he should be stroking a white cat. Yeah. He does. Both Castro brothers do.
Yeah, the twins.
Mhm.
Twinsies, love.
So I don't know whether to believe him or whether to believe the magical governor of Massachusetts, Maura Healey. You know why she's magical?
Why is she magical?
Because she's a lesbian. They're all magical.
I love lesbians.
LGBTQ people are magical people.
Everybody's gay.
Their characters
gay
beyond
people know that
reproach.
everybody's gay.
They have special powers. Their characters beyond reproach. It's exciting.
Look at me, I'm gay.
Mhm.
Well, so is everybody else. All right, go on.
Well, not me, but
Well, I know you're not gay.
yeah.
Are you pansexual?
That's Wayne Brady. You have me
Thank
confused
you.
with Wayne Brady, which
He's
happens a
being
lot.
celebrated because he's coming out as pansexual, which I don't know what that means. I'm going to Google that.
I saw that coming a mile away.
Where were you when you heard the news?
Don't make Wayne Brady cut a bitch. Remember this?
Let's make a deal.
The
skit.
sketchy did with Dave Chappelle. This is brilliant.
We should pull that for it. That's a good one.
Brilliant jujitsu, comedic jujitsu there. But anyway, I
Okay,
digress.
go on. Yes.
So Joaquin Castro is saying one thing, and Maura Healey and Eric Adams and a lot of big city mayors are saying another. I don't. Joaquin Castro is telling us that all this loose talk about some sort of invasion or surge in migrants coming over the border. It didn't happen.
Oh, it's not happening.
It didn't happen, and it's not happening.
Oh, okay.
What you expected to happen after Title 42 was sunsetted, not happening. Joaquin Castro told no less an authority than Jake Tapper.
But as you said, border crossings are way down since the end of Title 42. So this invasion that Republicans talked about, this huge, swath or swarm of migrants that was going to come, that never happened. It never materialized. And yet they use that to create fear and use it as their number one boogeyman issue with the American people.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. You could also reach us on our text line all morning long. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment.
Well, I mean, fun with numbers kind of thing. No surge since Title 42. Well, when you have a flood, it's hard to detect a incremental surge, isn't it? How aggressively was Title 42 being enforced and so on and so forth. But what we do know, and this comes from Syracuse University, the Transactional Records Access Clearinghouse, which uses data obtained from the Executive Office for Immigration Review, we know from them that there have been just under 2 million migrants admitted to the country since Biden took office. We also know that that number understates the situation because there are estimates about the number of people who've made it over the border illegally and undetected. That is about 600,000, according to the Department of Homeland Security, ably managed by, our friend Ali Mayorkas. So that's 2.6 million into the country under Biden, but that's not a concern for Joaquin Castro. It is a concern for Eric Adams, who continues to bang his tin cup and say, President Biden, fill it with $300 million from FEMA so that I can provide the food, shelter, services for the 10,000 migrants per month that are coming into New York.
And by the way, here in Chicago, we got between 40 to 50 migrants every day in the month of July.
Okay.
And the city is saying that they're spending $7,000 per
so
immigrant a month.
So that's $1,500.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what are they doing? They're sleeping in, shelters, and how is that $7,000?
They didn't say it's spending it efficiently.
No, they're not.
Well, they're trying. They're doing the South Shore, Northeastern Illinois. I mean, they're looking for places to house them.
Wright College, the Broadway Armory. Why don't they just stop that nonsense and reopen McCormick Place? Remember when we had our COVID beds all set up? There was thousands of them. Just do that, because no one's using the East Hall of McCormick Place anyway. That's just my idea. Don't take it away from. Don't take our children's spaces away.
Maybe. I mean, I know this is just fantasy, but maybe it's the conversation about being a sanctuary jurisdiction in the first place. Maybe that's the fundamental point here. But I don't know. Maura Healey, she thought it was a good idea, that magical governor of Massachusetts. She thought it was a good idea when she was first taking office, and when this issue first started bubbling up before governors Abbott and DeSantis started moving people to their preferred destinations in country. Maura Healey said this about sanctuary cities initially.
I think it's really important that cities and towns have the ability, have the exercise the prerogative to label themselves whatever they want to label themselves. And if they want to take on a sanctuary city designation, I think that's great. I think cities and towns are in the position to be able to do that. And I've seen it done as a value statement, as a statement of principles, and I think that's great. I support that.
Sports said it's a great idea. I think it's great. Obviously, you want to be a welcoming city that's consistent with our values as a welcoming people, except when it comes to people who disagree with us. But I digress. And so what you have is big blue cities and big blue states, the idiocracy in charge of those jurisdictions, living their values. There's no question about it. But now Maura Healey is singing a slightly different tune. The good governor of Massachusetts recently declared this.
As of today, close to 5,600 families with children are living in state-funded shelters, hotels, dorms, and other emergency facilities across Massachusetts. That figure is 80% higher than it was just 1 year ago, and it's unsustainable. For this reason, today I am declaring a state of emergency in Massachusetts.
The sanctuary city designation or sanctuary state designation has become synonymous with the state of emergency. Is that interesting? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. I thought it sounded like so much fun, such a great idea, sort of a We Are the World type of policy, have a Coke and a smile, until the reality set in. And it turns out that the city and state governments, headed up by these magical people, are no more effective in caring for migrants who've come across the border into this country than they are for their indigenous residents. What a surprise. Who could have seen that coming? Roger, Southside, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning, gang. My question, Dan, is I seen yesterday, who with the city, because I read halfway through it quickly, is they're not, somebody with the city is refusing to put out how much money that we've put here in Chicago towards migrants. So not only do we have, we have 10 of these socialist aldermen, hey, just do what you want, right? The Chicago way, do what you want. The blue way. I'll tell you something. You're starting to see it here. Go past the Home Depot at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Over the last 10 years, it'd be a madhouse. Okay, I walked into one yesterday at 10 o'clock in the morning, and it was a ghost town. What's that telling you? Okay, the building is slowing down here. The rehabs are slowing down here. Nobody wants to deal with the BS anymore. I mean, but I guess we need to follow the leadership of our aldermen and the other 100 city and state either elected officials or people in position of power who are, I think, at the 78% are black or women. This is the great American failure.
Thanks for the call, Roger. Well, yeah, I mean, in terms of the spend in Chicago, we are flush with cash thanks to the NASCAR race in Lollapalooza.
Yeah, oh, yeah, right.
So we have all this money burning a hole in our pockets,
Yeah, but this is WBBM TV, which I don't watch, but they were doing a great investigative piece because they're trying to figure out how is the city spending $100 million to care for the new migrants arriving here, and the city has ignored their requests, and even the Illinois Attorney General's office has ignored their requests. They just want it's $7,000 a migrant per month. For $7,000, if you got $7,000, by yourself, when you find a really nice place to live, Dan. I mean, rent's about $1,000 to $2,000.
I don't think they're handing them $7,000.
No, they're not.
This is the welfare state approach. You don't fund people. You fund bureaucracies. The people are on they're wards of the state. You're funding the institutions that lord over them and ensure their ongoing dependency.
Well, CBS 2 has been trying to get what should be public spending records for the city to see what companies and organizations, are being paid. And they're, again, saying each new arrival, $7,000 worth of care every month. Well, a lot of them are living on the streets.
We're living our values, and that's all you need to know.
Well, what if they're stealing from Chicagoans? Because, did you hear about that story?
Big city living.
This man's backpack went missing. He was at the UIC soccer field. He gets back on the sideline. His backpack's gone. So he fired up the iPhone tracker. Oh, it led him directly to the lobby of the 12th District. And he thought, maybe a good Samaritan turned it in. No, a migrant went and helped himself to his bag. And it's sitting on top right there at the 12th District. He got some of his property back, The guy was arrested.
That's
he should be deported.
That's not our concern.
Yeah,
the concern is what Greg Abbott is doing at the border.
Right.
That's the
Republican
concern.
man bad.
The concern is what white supremacist, hate-mongering Republican governors in places like Texas and Florida that are wastelands, that are dystopian nightmares to hear the left tell the story, as opposed to the Xanadu's they have stood up in California and New York and Illinois. Those wastelands are getting worse, and you should know this. Joaquin Castro is on the case. Greg Abbott is attempting to murder migrants coming over the border. Don't pay no attention to these stories you hear from Tom Homan and about the border agents who do these heroic things and save lives. People make a dangerous journey, whether they some potentially drown or they save them from drowning or heat exhaustion or whatever violent crime at the border. Pay no attention to those stories of border agents intervening on behalf of migrants. No. Focus your attention on Greg Abbott, this monster who's the governor of Texas, who has set up like a death trap at the border
with the buoys
for migrants, and he is literally trying to kill people. That's his plan.
I mean, what I saw, Jake, were drowning devices, were basically death traps. You go right up to this gate, and there's razor wire right beyond that on the banks of the river, and the wire is placed in areas where the water comes above it, and people can basically get stuck on it, bump right into it, And then there are these barrel traps that we saw that are placed in the water that are being called buoys, that they've got a kind of chainsaw device right in the middle of them. So these things are clearly meant to injure and to hurt and to kill people.
It's
possibly.
the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
First, where he's placed the razor wire in the barrel trap is in an area that forces migrants to swim in a deeper part of the water. In other words, he's forcing them to go to a deeper part of the water where they may drown.
I mean, well, what's even more dangerous is traveling with your family in this heat, you idiots. This is the time of year.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
What we
don't
should-
worry
what-
about the buoys. You should worry about the heat.
Rather than making the border the border security more prodigious to discourage people from coming over, that could create some safety issues. You know, just like, I don't know, someone's fence in their yard could create some safety issues. Better to roll out the red carpet. Why make them swim in deeper waters when they can swim in more shallow waters, even walk across, maybe even provide kayaks?
Yeah.
Border Patrol
Paddle boards,
kayaks,
yeah.
paddle boards for them to get a little exercise while they cross, like get a little bit more exercise. Work on their core, too.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Do some yoga on the paddleboard.
So this is where you should focus your attention. This monster called Greg Abbott and these Rube Goldberg death traps that he has laid on the border to kill migrants. Okay. Mike in the Loop, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey guys, Amy, I saw that report the other night too on Channel 2.
Uh-huh.
And I wonder the reason they're not releasing that information is because they have no idea what happened to that $100 million. That's what I think. Don't you?
Yep, completely. And Kwame Raoul's
call,
up. They have
Mike.
no idea. Like, I don't know. Giving them money, and most people are still sleeping on the streets outside of police departments or inside the police departments.
Again, I don't mean to belabor the point, but that's not our concern. Is not outputs in this city and state. We don't care about outputs. We care about inputs. We allocated this money because we're living our values and we're good people.
Yeah.
What comes
Why
of
don't
it?
you be a better neighbor?
What comes of it is irrelevant. That's irrelevant.
And they sent out a FOIA, to the Office of Budget Management, and the request was denied.
Whatever.
Saying there are no records.
Because it's
and-
irrelevant.
Yeah.
Why is it any more relevant than it's relevant to measure inputs versus outputs at the Chicago Public Schools?
I know.
I mean, if we don't do it for our people, why should we do it unto our migrant friends?
Just love the city's, trying to hide the truth about its handling of migrants and the funds.
Doesn't need to hide anything. Nobody, the city's indifferent. Don't care. They're not hiding anything. They're doing things out in the open. Investigative journalists, Chicago network affiliates. Funny. Frank at Board of Trade.
Yeah, wouldn't it make more sense to just organize bus loads of people from the border to Las Vegas? Because really they're only qualified to be prostitutes and pickpockets.
Well, I don't know about that, Frank, but I mean, if they want to come to Chicago, why? You can understand why Abbott and DeSantis would want to facilitate where they want to go.
They can't all stay in Eagles Pass, Texas, or El Paso, Texas.
They don't want to.
Or Nogales, Arizona.
Well, they don't want to, and
Or
they shouldn't.
Tijuana.
And they shouldn't have to. No, obviously.
But they can't. They're
obviously,
busting at the seams down there.
Obviously, there's a lot of people that come in, even illegally, that are doing so because they want to work and.
Yeah.
So this is not.
But there's a lot of thieves in there.
This is not. Of course, this is a commentary on how we do, or more to the point, don't do border security. It is not a comment on migrants as a population, regardless of country. It's what we're doing in our big cities and our sanctuary states, our states of emergency, if you will, and at the border per the federal government.
And Governor Pritzker wants these illegal people, or some of them, if they qualify.
People can't be illegal.
To become police officers or sheriff's deputies. the
Tom
state
in
of
Oswego, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. You know my story. I have a son-in-law in Mexico that can't get here to do it the right way, to live with his daughter, my daughter, and grandson. If the system is broke. You know, Dan, every morning I wake up, I bust my tail, work 60, 70 hours a week. I have a small business. I employ people. And it feels like I'm a hamster on a wheel, or I'm one of the frogs in the pot of water that the heat just keeps getting turned up. I'm 63 years old. I'm not sure where this is going to end, but I can tell you it's not going to end well. We're not educating the kids, and I know I employ some of these right out of high school kids that cannot even push a broom. They don't even know what a broom is. It's just really sad, and I'm just afraid that one day a lot of us are going to wake up and this is all going to hit us in the face and we're not going to know what happened. I'll know what happened. You'll know what happened. But I think a lot of people are burying their head in the sand hoping that there's not a problem. And there is. There's such an undercurrent of stress and frustration out here. I feel it every day dealing with customers that we're almost at a boiling point. And I hate talking like this because I love this country. I love what it's given me. But I'm telling you, every day I wake up and I feel just a little more desperate and just to get things done. And it's getting hard. And I think the reason people aren't seeing it is because we're a big country, so we can absorb a lot of pain and a lot of hurt, and it happens slowly.
Thanks for the call, Tom.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I tell you, I get no respect. So I walk into a coin shop with silver bullion for sale when the owner says, "You look like you don't have two coins to rub together." I say to him, "Bullion." He orders me to quit cussing, tosses me out the door, and I land cheeks down on my 10-pound bullion bars. Ouch! My rear end is still black and blue.
You should have come to Fox Valley Coins, where we treat every customer with respect, buying or selling. Whether you're liquidating a collection to pay the rent or trading unwanted collectible coins, currency, and bullion for extra folding money, Fox Valley Coins is happy to see you. We also pay top dollar for scrap gold and sterling at Fox Valley Coins, the Midwest's premier coin company. Open 6 days a week, one light north of I-88 on Route 59 at the Naperville-Warrenville border. Check us out at foxvalleycoins.com. Over 40 years of family-owned integrity. That's foxvalleycoins.com.
I'd get my butt down there, but the doctor warned me to take it easy for a week. Oh.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I've had a high energy level every day, and I've just been doing great. And I just feel like it's a definite advantage to take them. Well, let me just say one other thing. I mentioned to my doctor that I was taking Balance of Nature, and they said they were very positive about that. And they said that was really good. That's a good product. And so I've been very pleased.
Start your journey to better health with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first preferred order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code Chicago.
AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Talk a little POTUS politics. Trump in New Hampshire, and Stephen Van Zandt impersonator Jamie Raskin says there's nothing about Biden Inc. that touches the big guy. 636.
They're so delusional. And also, who's sick of this fat shaming between Chris Christie and President Trump? Ugh. Now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
632, 65 degrees, and a dense fog advisory is up for the western suburbs through 8 a.m. Finally, a winner in the over $1.5 billion Mega Millions jackpot. The winning ticket sold in Florida. The judge overseeing former President Trump's 2020 election interference case has a scheduled hearing Friday in Washington, D.C. Likely, it will determine what rules should be imposed for the handling of evidence. The company that enables so many office workers to do their jobs effectively from home and did so during the pandemic is now ordering its own employees back to its office.
COVID work from home became quite easier for many companies and their staff as they made use of services by Zoom, which had been a minor player in the video conferencing field up until then. Zoom's product was economical and reliable, and that positioned them to become a major player in workplace tech. But now Zoom is telling its own employees who live 50 miles or closer to their offices it's time to come back in, at least for 2 days out of the week. A number of workplace experts say it's a sign the pandemic is surely over. Eben Brown, Fox News.
The Biden administration's so-called ghost guns will remain restricted for now. The Supreme Court, in an emergency ruling, agreed to pause a lower court's decision invalidating the Biden regulations on ghost guns as the administration carries out its appeal. Ohio voters are deciding against stricter rules on passing constitutional amendments in the state. Preliminary election results show issue 1 failed yesterday, roughly 57% of voters saying no. Houston police are investigating the death of a 3-month-old boy who was left in a hot car Tuesday afternoon. Officers responded around 3:30 to a mental health clinic. The mother arrived at the clinic around noon and took her 4-year-old inside, but had left the baby in the car. Bail denied for the man charged with murdering a 9-year-old girl this past weekend in Chicago's Portage Park neighborhood. Prosecutors say Sarabi Medina was eating ice cream with her dad Saturday night when Michael Goodman walked across the street and shot her in the head next to the family's apartment building. Prosecutors have dropped charges against a white former Chicago police officer captured on video struggling with a black woman who was walking her dog along a closed Lake Michigan beach. 53-year-old Bruce Diker had been charged with official misconduct and aggravated battery before charges were dropped on Tuesday. One of the lead plaintiffs in the lawsuit against Illinois' gun and magazine ban expects more lawsuits to be filed. Law Weapons sued the city of Naperville last year and expanded that lawsuit to include a challenge of Illinois' ban earlier this year. Owner Robert Bevis's request for an emergency preliminary injunction while the case played out went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court.
I have right now probably 75 firearms in our store that people have bought on the TRO and had shipped to our store for a legal transfer that we're unable to give them because Naperville's ordinance.
Bevis says they've lost $1 million in business and legal bills have cost around $500,000. Cubs over the Mets 6-2 at Citi Field, while the White Sox lost to the Yankees 7-1. The news is a service of MyPillow. MyPillow employees want to thank you by giving you the lowest price in history on their MyPillows. Now only $19.98 with promo code LIBERTY. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Sean Thompson Show.
There are millions upon millions of people of good character going to good states and low-rent Democrat scum going to Democrat states. After all, that's where they thrive. This is where this is acceptable. And it's being put as something that's normal. It's normal now to be an outright thief, scumbag, traitor to your country.
The Sean Thompson Show. Weekday afternoons at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
When life ends, your legacy begins. Ensure your legacy lives on at Catholic Cemeteries of Chicago, with 47 locations throughout Cook and Lake counties. Take advantage of 0% financing, lock in today's prices, and safeguard yourself against rising inflation. Visit CatholicCemeteryChicago.org or call 708-236-5490 to schedule a free consultation today.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I think it's just a really good idea
simply because I have such a busy schedule that I can't always take care of all of my nutritional needs in the proper ways. I really like it. It's quite nice. I would say that I have more energy. I'm sleeping really well. With my schedule, I don't get quite enough sleep sometimes. And when that happens, I still can manage to have a normal day the following day. So I'm pretty well pleased with it.
Start your journey to better health with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first preferred order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Do you know the number one complaint homeowners have about remodeling? How long it takes. Rick here from Forever Remodeling. Home remodels that were supposed to take weeks often stretch out to months or even up to a year. That's because many remodelers bite off more than they can chew. They take on too many jobs, they get spread too thin, and you end up frustrated, waiting an eternity for your project to get done. Call Forever Remodeling instead. From start to finish, we show your remodel the attention it deserves. We limit the number of jobs we do at one time. This lets us dedicate ourselves to getting your project done on schedule while delivering a result that's better than you imagined. For a free consultation, call Forever Remodeling at 847-809-3355 or visit foreverremodeling.com. We do kitchens, baths, basements, additions, and more. That's the number 4everremodeling.com.
640 on AM 560, The Answer. Time to visit signaturebank.bank and time to check the roads, a service of blindster.com. You may think custom blinds is a job for expensive professionals. Well, at Blindster, if you have a tape measure and a screwdriver, they can install their blinds and save big. Plus, they guarantee they'll fit at blindster.com. Eden's inbound 18 Lake Cook Road to the junction, the Kennedy 51, O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. Stevenson's brake lights, stop and go type traffic. Harlem Avenue to Kedzie, 36 in, 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Tri-State Tollway jammed up northbound right at the Reagan I-88. And in Countryside, the intersection at Joliet Road at Willow Springs Road is now closed because of an accident. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. We'll have some sun this morning, then turning cloudy in the midday. We'll have a chance of a thunder shower late this afternoon, but only for the south suburbs. High 84. Shower in spots early overnight, otherwise cloudy most of the evening, and a low of 65. 65 at O'Hare. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, and building off of our call at the end of the last segment talking about the border and sanctuary states, or states of emergency as they could be known. That works as an AKA. Victor Davis Hanson commenting on the era we are in right now politically. Take a listen.
We're in a revolutionary era, and it's not like our American Revolution. I mean, everything is up for discussion, but even 1776, the foundational date, is up for discussion. Names change, statues fall, and the things that you delineated are now commonplace. It's more like the French Revolution, or maybe the Maoist revolution of the 60s in China. And I don't know what started it. I have theories, Jesse, that globalization was asymmetric and it enriched these elites on the coast that had skills that could be transferred into money and profit in Europe and Asia, and not so much the muscular classes in between. That might be one reason. I think the Obama administration substituted the idea of discrimination or biased or underprivileged with race for class. So all of a sudden a Meghan Markle or an Oprah was a victim, and somebody in East Palestine that has nothing was an oppressor. That was a radical change from class to race. There was a derangement about Donald Trump. It wasn't just they opposed Donald Trump, they loathed him. They loathed his accent, what he represented, his tan, his hair. It was really a hysteria. And then, of course, the COVID disastrous lockdowns created kind of a collective hysteria, paranoia, and that erupted with George Floyd, and we were off to the races. But this country's in dire straits right now, and I think we need a counter-revolutionary. We need somebody to stand up and say, some brave politician who said, I don't care what you do to me, I don't care about my career, this is going to stop. It's going to stop now. We're going to enforce the law, we're going to bring back an orderly and humane society, we're going to judge people on the content of their character and not the color of their skin. We're not going to destroy the middle class for the pipe dreams of the bicoastal elite. There's somebody like that, and I think there's people on the political horizon who could rise to the occasion.
Do you think Donald Trump is that counter-revolutionary figure?
And in response to Jesse Waters' question, Victor Davis Hanson said he's one of them. So it wasn't limited to Trump. It certainly included him, but it wasn't one. It was not limited to him. So the revolutionary figure that we need, I think Victor Davis Hanson's summary of where we're at is pretty accurate, and his intuition about how we got here also strikes me as largely correct, or a big part of the story. And then the question becomes what we're asking and been asking as this campaign ramps up: is Trump the best vehicle to effectuate what Victor Davis Hanson says we need? A counter-revolutionary who says this stuff is going to stop. I know he's potentially the most sympathetic figure because of the belief among the majority of the primary electorate that he is being persecuted in addition to being prosecuted, or persecuted by way of prosecution. And I think that's accurate, too. I think these cases are almost entirely political in nature. But does that mean he's the best counter-revolutionary? Electing a Donald Trump would certainly provide the strongest rebuke, because this is the guy they've thrown everything and the kitchen sink at. This is the guy they've targeted with all of the resources, the massive resources of the federal government, and a lot of state and local governments, too. But saying that he would serve as the best rebuke, the stiffest punishment, is not the same thing as saying he would necessarily be the best counter-revolutionary. Do you see that distinction? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. And I think that's why VDH leaves room for the consideration of others. He's one of them, but he's not the only one. And I suspect he's thinking mainly about Ron DeSantis as possibly someone who could fill that role and be a more effective executive, or a more effective counter-revolutionary in the executive office.
DeSantis yesterday hired, he fired his campaign manager and hired his chief of staff to run his campaign.
Yeah, the campaign manager is staying on as some sort of senior strategist.
Yeah.
But yeah,
is this a good move?
Well, it speaks to a campaign that still doesn't have its legs underneath it. And we'll see how he does in 2 weeks in that debate. That's going to be important.
I can't wait to see that.
Well,
Kellyanne Conway, I think she saved President Trump. At the time, candidate Trump, because she was a great advocate for him. And she went on CNN, she went on MSNBC, and she nailed every interview. That's my personal opinion. Paul Manafort wasn't doing it for me.
I think it's a lot more complicated than that, but including after the Access Hollywood tape came out and the disagreement about what Trump should do in response to that. Ultimately, he made his own decision, but most, I think, were suggesting that he should get out of the race, and there were a few that suggested he should stay in the race and lean into it, which is what he did, and that's
And
one
he
of the
offered
reasons
an
he
apology.
won. So it's always a little bit more complicated, and consultants get, as I've often said, more credit and more blame, much like, coaches, managers, more credit, more blame. Ultimately, especially in particular with DeSantis, because he is so widely known as keeping his own counsel, he and his wife, and being very on top of things, making the decisions. He's not some sort of absentee candidate or just face guy like Biden, who's being run by a political class or political consultancy class. That's not DeSantis. So it leaves even more responsibility on his shoulders for how things go. And I think it's difficult to say things have been going well. I still don't really understand what his answer to Victor Davis Hanson's description of the landscape is. Where woke goes to die, Florida being where woke goes to die, it's fine. It's a pithy little phrase, but it's not exactly an answer. Or it's not exactly something that people can grab onto. Yeah. America's in decline. I want to reverse that. Again, very straightforward, believable. I just don't think he has answered the why question sufficiently. And so sort of all the accomplishments in Florida, here's what I'm going to do, here's how I'm going to do it. Again, I beat this drum because it's fundamentals. I mean, it's like, you need to learn how to dribble before you learn how to shoot, because you have to put yourself in position to shoot. So why? Sell me on the why, and then I'm interested to hear the what and the how. And I just don't think he's done that. And I think that's why he's struggling. And that's why other candidates are getting a look right now, even in these quote-unquote early stages. Boy, you can only say early stages for a few more weeks, and then all of a sudden you're going to be past Labor Day, and it's going to be increasingly hard to sell that. Well, we remember when I said we still have 5 months? Well, we still have 3 months. We still have 2 months. You got to move. There's got to be some indication that there is a looming fight that is coming into focus, and I don't really see that right now. Kevin in Libertyville.
Good morning, guys. How are you? Hey, real quick, Trump, when his first term, I think he did so many great and wonderful things. I mean, by just about any metric, he was one of the most successful presidents, at least in my time. I think the one thing that we can all agree that maybe he failed on is some of the people that he surrounded himself with. And I think not being a politician before that caused that probably to cave in on him. I think now, after being out of office for a little bit, he sees what he was totally unprepared for, and the vindictiveness and the power and the anger and the vitriol that was directed at him, that he probably just had no idea how low that those that were trying to control power, how low they would stoop to maintain that position. I think he gets that now. I think he gets that probably more than anybody. And I think that just alone would make the case for, he should be the standard bearer going forward to effect the change that this country needs, because he's telegraphed that a little bit. He's, saying this is going to change, this is going to change, this is going to change, and he's not really pulled any punches. So, my opinion, I think he's probably good for that.
Thanks for the call, Kevin. Charlie Streamwood.
Yeah, hi, Dan. Just a quick just a quick point. Who's the other candidates that are running for presidency that are going to go in there and clean up the mess, going to clean up the FBI, going to clean up the CIA, going to do everything that's going wrong with this country? So that's a question that people need to ask themselves also because there are a lot of people love Trump. I love Trump. There's a lot of people that are against him, but with these other candidates, you have to ask that question: who is going to go in there and clean things up? Besides the border and everything else that's going on in this country.
Well, DeSantis has said that he's going to clean up the FBI. He's going to shut down the border, and so is Tim Scott.
Yeah, right. So it's saying it, and then it's convincing people that you're really motivated to do it, and that you're up to the task.
Yeah,
I think. I don't know. I don't know what people think, generally speaking, about DeSantis. It'd be sort of interesting. I think it's difficult to argue with his record. I mean, he's a doer.
Right.
He's an executive.
Has an accomplished career.
He did mince words in Florida, and then he followed up those words with actions. So that's, I told you what I'm going to do, and then he said about doing it, and because he had Republican control of the state legislature there, he's done it.
Yeah.
So
he doesn't sit around, folks.
And he was a member of Congress, so it's not like he's completely ignorant of the culture inside D.C. I just think that people are, it's to some extent, there's the, you should wait your turn, although that's not really realistic, and I don't agree with that.
No. Obama didn't wait his turn.
There's a little bit of wait the turn stuff, but there's also this, I don't know if people, again, have their arms around him as this is a guy who will die on a hill for me, and I'll die on a hill for him. Again, where's the energy outside of Trump? Where's the energy in the Republican primary outside of Trump? Yeah, I know for some of the biggest donors, it's with DeSantis, but that's not real energy. I'm talking about the grassroots energy. Would you see it at a DeSantis event in Iowa? Ramaswamy is making headway because of his strong performance in interviews, because he's a sharp guy and he's speaking in plain terms.
Yeah, and he's not afraid to go on MSNBC, CNN.
But is there real energy? And that's early, still getting to know. I get it, kicking tires. Let's see him debate. But the energy in Trump. Trump in New Hampshire yesterday, and going through what you would expect him to go through, the recitation of the status of things, is many indictments.
How can my corrupt political opponent, crooked Joe Biden, put me on trial during an election campaign that I'm winning by a lot, but forcing me nevertheless to spend time and money away from the campaign trail in order to fight bogus, made-up accusations and charges? That's what they're doing. I'm sorry, I won't be able to go to Iowa today. I won't be able to go to New Hampshire today because I'm sitting in a courtroom on bullshit because his attorney general charged me with something. Terrible.
Yeah, you get the picture. He says bull jive, and then the crowd chants bull jive.
Yeah.
Where's the rallying cry for the other candidates? Where's that kind of energy?
I haven't seen it yet.
Me neither. Joe, Arlington Heights.
Good morning. Another great show. Hey, Trump did a lot of good things, but I don't know that he can be that iconic leader that will help heal, bring people together. For a couple of reasons. One is there's just so many negatives with those who are against him, and I don't think that can be reversed. But more importantly, he's too motivated, I think, to be a great leader. He's too motivated by revenge. And I don't think that transformational leader can come from the fruit of that kind of poisonous tree. So everything you say is practical, is correct. He has got the mojo, and he's got the loyal following. But I don't want him to be that man. Think about what Lincoln said right before he was assassinated. He said, "I've often found that you can do more good with mercy than with strict justice.
Thanks for the call, Joe. I mean, very good comments, fair comments. And I think the issue of Trump's venal nature is a legitimate issue to raise. I think that's absolutely legitimate.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile. Tune in every Saturday afternoon at 3 for the Money Hour Radio, brought to you by Pierre Shale Financial Group. Learn estate and tax planning strategies, choosing the right IRA, and the ever-important decision when to take Social Security benefits. When you have retirement in sight, sound decisions are critical. Tune in to the Money Hour Radio every Saturday afternoon at 3, right here on AM 560, brought to you by Pierre Shale Financial Group.
Advisor services offered through Pierre Shale Financial Group Incorporated. Pierre Shale Financial Group Incorporated is a registered independent investment advisor.
Relief Factor, pain relief that's natural, pain relief that works, and pain relief that attacks the source of the pain. That's the experience of tens of thousands of Americans who are taking Relief Factor right now. See their incredible video endorsements at relieffactor.com and then order your 3-week quick starter pack for just $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Find out if it can work for you like it works for me by ordering your 3-week quick starter pack today. Relieffactor.com, relieffactor.com. Be the next success story.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer. News, opinion, insight. This is AM 560, The Answer. WIND Chicago. Streaming at 560theanswer.com. On the AM 560 mobile app. Tune in, iHeart, and on Odyssey.
Ohio voters say no. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. 57% have rejected a Republican attempt to make it harder to amend the state constitution. It would have raised the bar for ballot measure approval from a simple majority to 60%.
The other side prevailed. This is just one battle in a much larger war, though, because the all-out assault on Ohio is coming from the radical left.
Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose just told Fox the next GOP fight will be trying to defeat a November initiative to put abortion rights into the Ohio Constitution. There will be a hearing Friday for the judge overseeing the Trump election interference case to consider the special counsel's request for a protective order to limit what the former president can say about witnesses and evidence. He said at a rally in New Hampshire.
Is this going to be the future of elections in America, where a sitting president tells his attorney general to indict the opponent, to try and knock the opponent down? This is what's happening.
Democrats say he is being rightly held accountable for election lies. Now, the former president and front runner in the 2024 Republican race has suggested he might skip the first debate in 2 weeks. 7 others have met polling and fundraising criteria, but only one is truly qualified.
Businessman Vivek Ramaswamy will be on the GOP presidential debate stage on August 23rd in Milwaukee after he formally signed a pledge to support the party's eventual nominee. The Republican National Committee has made the pledge a requirement to gain access to the official debates.
Fox is telling you, Jay Powers, wildfires have chased people from their homes, damaging buildings in Hawaii.
Definitely the road was catching fire. We drove past a couple of small fires on the way down and a lot of downed trees.
He's in Maui, where the Coast Guard rescued a dozen people from the ocean. Fires also burn on Hawaii's Big Island. A brush fire in Cedar Park, Texas, forced people to flee their homes, destroying an apartment building, damaging 2 more. It pays to buy a lottery ticket in Neptune Beach, Florida. That's where somebody hit the Mega Millions jackpot, $1.58 billion, the third biggest lottery prize in U.S. history. America's listening to Fox News.
65 degrees, 7:02 is our time on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. There is a dense fog advisory up for the western suburbs through 8 a.m. Opening statements will begin today in the perjury trial for former longtime Chief of Staff of former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan. Timothy Mapes is charged with lying to a grand jury in the federal probe that led to Madigan's indictment last year in a racketeering case. Village trustees of Wilmette voted to adopt a resolution during a village board meeting last night objecting to Evanston's zoning changes that would allow for concerts at Ryan Field. Senta Plunkett is the board president.
Through this resolution, we are sending a clear message to and the Evanston City Council that commercializing an educational facilities athletic campus in this manner in a residential neighborhood to drive profits is wholly unacceptable.
Many residents at that meeting spoke out against the concert plan.
And I want to thank you. I think this board has done a wonderful job. That resolution is fantastic. I wholeheartedly support it, and I encourage you to stand firm.
The vote revolves around an $800 million renovation project for Ryan Field, first proposed in September of 2022, but currently coming under fire after hazing allegations came to light surrounding Northwestern football. Police are searching for a driver involved in a hit and run that left a teen critically wounded in Wicker Park. Authorities say 17-year-old Nakari Campbell was crossing Division Street Friday night when she was struck by a red Mercedes-Benz C35. She remains hospitalized in critical condition. And arrests are down at Lollapalooza. City officials say 14 were arrested during the 4-day music festival that began last Thursday in Grant Park. Cubs over the Mets at Citi Field 3-2. Well, the White Sox lost to the Yankees 7-1, and the Bears claimed tight end Lachlan Pitts and linebacker Barrington Wade off waivers yesterday. Pitts went undrafted out of William and Mary, while Wade is a Skokie native and a former Niles North standout who played at Iowa. The news service of the AM 560 mobile app. Download the AM 560 mobile app at 560theanswer.com/mobile. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sebastian Gorka says the truth is out there.
I never spoke to my son about his business dealings. Trump made a phone call to the president of the Ukraine, and you tried to have him impeached for that. A call to investigate your corruption that we now know happened.
America First with Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Afternoons at 3, right before Sean Thompson at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey everybody, Charlie Kirk here. Are you worried about investing in the stock market, especially with Joe Biden in office? Do you really trust the economy? What if you could invest in a secure, collateralized portfolio with a high fixed rate of return that's not correlated to the stock market or the Fed? A portfolio where you'll know what each monthly statement will look like with no surprises. Your interest is compounded daily. You're repaid monthly, and there are no fees. You can turn your income on or off, compound it, whatever you choose. And get this, there's absolutely no loss of principal if you ever need your money back. Just go to investrefy.com. That's invest, the letter Y, then refy.com, or call 888-YREFI, 888-YREFY24. You can earn a fixed rate of return or up to 10.25%. Just call 888-YREFY24 or go to investrefy.com and tell them Charlie Kirk sent you.
Russian officials recently revealed a new global supercurrency backed by physical gold will be announced on August 22nd with support from China, India, and other countries. Many economists warn this could radically change the world economy and possibly destroy the value of the dollar. And that means the value of your 401k or IRA is at risk. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. I want to urge you to protect yourself and your family right now. How? By diversifying your 401k or IRA into physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. August 22nd will be here before you know it, so take action today. Fortify your nest egg using the power of gold inside of a tax advantage account. Text PROTECT to the number 989898. That's PROTECT to 989898 to get your free information kit on gold IRAs right now.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a very, very skeptical person, so I think even if it had started working sooner, I was like, no, it can't be just balance of nature. Till I finally gave in and said, you know what? I think it's the balance of nature. So somebody will say, oh, I noticed this, or you look really good today, or you know, such and such, and I go, I know, it's the balance of nature. I have fingernails that I've never had before. They're long and they're strong and they're wow.
Start your journey to better health with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first preferred order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
7:08. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. We'll start on the inbound Edens, where it's 18 minutes, Lake Cook Road to the junction. The Kennedy at 44, O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. Stevenson 35 from 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Dan Ryan coming inbound at 20 minutes, 95th into the Burns Circle interchange. Tri-State jamming up northbound right at the Reagan, I-88. A structure fire on the south side is jamming up the intersection of Ashland Avenue and Garfield, and an accident in Highland Park. US 41 northbound before Park Avenue West, and we're hearing right now that in Highland Park as well, there's a major structure fire with the lanes blocked, Link Cook Road and Red Oak Lane. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Steve Williams.
Some sun to get things started, then turning cloudy today. A thunder shower late in the afternoon, the high 84. A shower early this evening, then cloudy for most of the night, low 65. Sun patchy clouds tomorrow, the high near 84. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
A dense fog advisory remains in effect for the western suburbs until 8 a.m. 65 at O'Hare, next news 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560 The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Jamie Raskin, a Democrat socialist from Maryland, is the ranking Democrat on the House Oversight Committee, Jim Comer's committee, that's riding point on the Biden Inc. investigation. Jamie Raskin is to Jim Comer what Adam Schiff was to Devin Nunes on House Intel when Republicans were in charge of the House Intel Committee, when they had the majority, I should say, and Devin Nunes was chairman of House Intel during the outset of the Russian collusion hoax. Jamie Raskin is a Harvard Law grad. He was the editor of the Harvard Law Review, so be prepared to be impressed
by his brilliance, yes.
When you hear this response to Fredo Cuomo's question about Biden, the big guy, responding to questions surrounding the business dealings of his family, particularly in the wake of the testimony last week from Devin Archer. Here's Raskin's response to the forthrightness of said big guy.
Your party doesn't seem to be pushing the president to me to answer these questions. Why do they have to be a matter of criminal investigation? Why can't he just be candid about what's true and what's not true, especially if he's got nothing to hide?
But I feel like President Biden has been very open and candid and honest about Hunter Biden's drug addiction and a lot of the terrible things that he did on laboring under the drug addiction. I mean, what family in America has not been touched by alcohol or drug abuse? And we know that people do really deranged things in that situation. I think they've been very honest and open about it. but there's nothing else there. I mean, the Republicans haven't found anything else there. If there were, I'd be very happy to ask questions about it. But
well,
look,
the payments to the family members.
Well, what does that mean? The payments to the family members? As far as I know, Hunter Biden made a bunch of business deals, which is lawful, which a lot of family members have done, Republican, Democrat, other political families, they've done the same thing. And he had it, the money diverted into different funds. I don't know there's an allegation of any crime there. But what is the crime that's being asserted? Hunter Biden was obviously trying to divert the different kinds of money that he had coming in. That's my best understanding of that situation. Again, none of it.
Yeah, the question I would ask Raskin is, if a Ukrainian oligarch had said to an FBI asset that President Trump and Don Jr. both accepted $5 million bribes from me to use their influence on behalf of my company, would Jamie Raskin have the same response? Would he have any questions about that? Would that be interesting at all to him, do you think?
Yeah, they'd be all over this. Come on.
For more on this and other matters, particularly in the light of speaking of Harvard, the Harvard admissions case, Professor William Jacobson joins us, clinical professor of law and directors of security law, the Securities Law Clinic at Cornell Law School, founder of legalinsurrection.com, president of the Legal Insurrection Foundation, and also under this umbrella is the Equal Protection Project, which we want to talk about. Professor Jacobson, thanks for joining us again. I know you're Cornell, not Harvard, but what's your reaction to Jamie Raskin, officer of the court, his analysis of what we know so far from the investigation into the Biden family?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on. Actually, I do have a little bit of Harvard in me, but don't hold it against me because I went to Harvard Law School.
Oh, you did?
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, well, okay.
Well, we stand corrected.
Were you Harvard Law Review?
But you can like me anyway.
Was it a Harvard Law Review?
International Law Review.
All right. I still think Jamie Raskin has you trumped on credentials, but
you know
go
what?
ahead.
You don't need credentials to know that, he is just speaking out of both sides of his mouth. I mean, if the Trump children were cutting deals from the airplane or on presidential trips that they accompanied their father on, we'd have multiple special counsel, multiple investigations, multiple committees. The world would have gone wild, at least the media world. But because it's Hunter Biden cutting deals when he's on trips with his father and putting his father on the phone, according to Devin Archer, at least 20 times with his business associate, there's silence from the media. Oh, nothing there, nothing to see. I mean, what they've done to our system is so horrible that they have essentially immunized the Biden family corruption. And that's what it was. Whether it was a crime or not, we probably need to know more. But it certainly was selling the office of the vice presidency, selling influence and peddling that to foreign governments or people affiliated with foreign governments, one of which, China, is one of our primary, if not our primary, competitors in the world. So Joe Biden sold us out. His son sold us out. They did it, blatantly. And all the media and people like Jamie Raskin want to say is, oh, there's nothing here. Where's your proof? How can you prove? Well, it's right in front of our eyes. He was putting it on the phone to give Hunter Biden the selling point of I can get the vice president on the phone.
Well, no, you're all wrong. According to Congressman Dan Goldman, they were just talking about the weather. It's just pleasantries. And, why wouldn't a president or a man say hello to his son's friends?
Yeah, well, the point is that was what Hunter Biden was selling, was the ability to get his father on the phone. And we're supposed to believe his father didn't know what was going on. Why is he putting him on the phone, with business associates? Why is this happening? What Hunter Biden was selling was access to the vice president of the United States. It wasn't a specific conversation. It wasn't a change in policy. It wasn't any of those things. And Joe Biden has to have known it. And he has to have known about all the money flowing to family members. So this is, a ruse to say, well, they just talked about the weather. It was like nod, nod, wink, wink. That's how Hunter Biden was selling whatever it was he was selling. It certainly wasn't legal services. like they claim, because he didn't do any law work for anybody, at least not in that context.
On the other side, Trump, we have one indictment to go. That's Fulton County, Georgia. And the prosecutor there, the reporting suggests, and previous statements she's made suggests, that she's going to charge Trump under the state's RICO, or racketeering statute. What's your reaction to trying to make out a racketeering case against Trump in Georgia based on his, I guess, I don't know what else it would be based on his phone call with Brad Raffensperger, the Secretary of State?
Yeah, well, we don't know what evidence she claims, but if they're going for a state-level racketeer influenced and corrupt organizations act claim, it's a complete, criminalization of politics, because you can probably make those sort of arguments against most politicians. Now, the difference is, just so people understand, the federal statute is much more limited. You have to have certain predicate acts, and they're the sort of predicate acts for the federal statute you would expect, because that statute was geared towards mob bosses, kidnapping, murder, extortion, things like that. But apparently the state version of that in Georgia is broader, and it includes things like false statements and things like that. So she's going to take a novel interpretation or a novel extension to politicians, that politicians making false statements for some corrupt purpose, and I guess she would say the corrupt purpose was to overturn the election, is all of a sudden criminal. But that could be applied to so many politicians. It could be applied to Hillary Clinton for her statements post-2016. Could be applied to, Stacey Abrams for her statements about how she really won the governorship in Georgia. I don't see Stacey Abrams being indicted. So this is completely abusive. These are Democrat prosecutors trying to criminalize the political opposition.
Yeah, and political speech. And this is a pattern that is getting actually quite chilling. We have a governor here in Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, as you know. A law that he signed that was passed by our General Assembly that would punish pregnancy care centers for what they term were deceptive practices, meaning reaching out to pregnant women or bringing pregnant women in and saying, we have these resources, you don't have to get an abortion. If you want to have your child, we can help you, and so on and so forth. So-called deceptive practices, specifically targeting them. And his statement, a statement he made in an interview, was this, quote, "You have a right to free speech, but you don't have a right to lie." That was a categorical statement he made. No, he's Georgetown law? Anyway, officer of the court. I mean, so beyond criminalizing politics, this is criminalizing disagreement. This is where the left is, and it's not just with respect to Trump. Pritzker's another example of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is a massive problem that has been building over a number of years, which is the criminalization of politics. And, a lot of people say, oh, well, if the Democrats do this, they're putting themselves at risk, because when the Republicans get in power, they'll do the same thing. The answer is no, they don't. They never do. They never have. They never will. Democrats can get away with this because they know there will never be the sort of retribution. Instead, Republicans will get people saying, no, this isn't right. We have to do the right thing here. We can't do this. We can't destroy the law for political purposes. But the Democrats do it all the time, and we really are on the verge, and we're probably there in a number of blue states, including Illinois, where, to be in the political opposition is being defined as a crime, is being defined as punishable, and is being defined, that you're an enemy of the state. And we're there in some blue states. New York State's not much better. And, so it's really a dangerous situation. And it's not, hyperbole to say when you see what's going on in Georgia, in Manhattan, in D.C. with, Smith, the prosecutor, who has asserted against Trump, four very questionable legal theories for his liability. You can disagree completely, and I did, with what, the attempts to overturn the election, but that doesn't make them criminal, unless you're going to put Stacey Abrams and Hillary Clinton in jail.
Right. Do you think there's any chance he'd get a fair trial anywhere? I mean, possibly the documents case in Miami?
Well, a legally fair trial, one that would not get reversed because it's unfair, probably. A legitimately fair trial when you're Donald Trump, it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough because he is such, a polarizing figure. He has been so demonized for so long. I don't know how you're going to get a jury in the District of Columbia, which is 96% or something like that, Democrat registration, and which I think he got maybe 5% of the vote. How are you going to get a fair jury pool there? I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's going to be very, very tough. His lawyers were suggesting moving it to West Virginia, which probably would make a lot of sense because West Virginia is, a little bit Republican-leaning, but it's actually a fairly politically diverse state if you look at the numbers. And I did the other night on this issue. I don't think Trump can get a fair jury pool in the District of Columbia or in Manhattan. He probably could in Florida, but that's not totally unusual. But it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a real challenge.
On other matters I wanted to get to, of course, the fallout from the Students for Fair Admissions Supreme Court decision, the Harvard admissions case, effectively. We see also at the state level, Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis moving to rein in racial identity politics on campuses. University of North Texas becoming the first college in the state of Texas to shut down its DI office, Diversity, Inclusion, Equity office. It had 21 full-time DEI employees.
What?
And six part-time staffers who are undergrad and grad students. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
What were they even doing?
This is a relatively small university there, the Mean Green. So North Texas is complying with state law, but we're also seeing the Wall Street Journal reporting that you have people now going after the DI officers and policies in corporate America. Comcast settling a case of illegally favoring minority-owned small business customers. Amazon's been sued over a program in Texas. Starbucks directors are being sued by a shareholder arguing they violated their duty to investors by supporting DI policies. Where do you see this all going, consistent with the Equal Protection Project that you operate?
Yeah, well, we have filed a number of complaints against universities regarding race-exclusive programs or racially discriminatory programs. We just filed one against the University of Nebraska at Lincoln about a program they have that is only open to black filmmakers. Universities can't do that anymore. There was a period of, it's always been illegal, but there was a period of time where based on Supreme Court decisions, you could make an argument that diversity was a sufficient motivation and justification for some level of discrimination. You can't make that anymore. So the Supreme Court's decision, while it was in the context of university admissions, constitutionally was much more sweeping than that. Basically, anybody subject to the constitutional restrictions and the federal restrictions, statutory, cannot use race as a basis for giving or denying benefits. And that's what's been happening. So you're going to see, because of the sweeping nature of that decision, you're going to see a lot more lawsuits brought against companies and other entities who maybe thought they were immune from this, but will not be. So this is the wave of the future. We're doing it at Equal Protection Project, which is equalprotect.org, and there are other groups who are doing it as well.
He is Professor William Jacobson, clinical professor of law and director of the Securities Law Clinic at Cornell Law, also founder of legalinsurrection.com, that's a must-read blog, and president of the Legal Insurrection Foundation. Professor Jacobson, thank you as always.
Thanks.
Thank you, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Experts are saying the biggest economic implosion is coming. Where's your money right now? In real estate, the stock market, or heaven forbid, a bank? Those in the know are calling Swiss America, a leader in precious metals for over 40 years. Your financial advisor says metals don't earn interest. You'll never beat inflation without taking huge risks. And advisors hate precious metals because they can't make money off it. With your money safely stashed in precious metals, you can insulate yourself from the coming crash. To help get you started, Swiss America is offering beautiful U.S. silver walking Liberty half dollars at the amazingly low price of just $13.50 each. Delivered. Limit 250 coins per customer while supplies last. To take advantage of this deal, call or text 800-630-1498. That's silver walking Liberty half dollars for just $13.50 each, delivered to your door while supplies last. Help protect your assets today. Call or text 800-630-1498. That's 800-630-1498. Message and data rates may apply.
All right, now's the time when structural problems can start in your home. If you're noticing new cracks in your walls, brickwork, sinking ground, or concrete, sagging floors, gaps under baseboards, sticking doors and windows, well, these are all symptoms of structural foundation problems, and it's time to call our good friends at Permaseal Basement Systems. All too often, homeowners ignore these signs and then experience even bigger problems later on, which in turn costs way more to fix. So call Permaseal's team today, 800-421-SEAL, 800-421-7325. You can rely on an honest, accurate, and free evaluation from Permaseal's trained experts. For over 41 years, Permaseal has been Chicagoland's and Northwest Indiana's most trusted contractor for basement and foundation repairs. They've earned an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau and have a 4.9-star Google rating. For a free, thorough inspection, call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. That's 800-421-7325. Or visit permaseal.net.
When this is the sound of a waterfall in nature, there's no cause for concern. But when it's the sound of water gushing through your living room ceiling because a pipe bursts inside the wall, there's reason to panic unless you pick up the phone and call 1-800-SERVPRO. Only the cleanup and restoration specialists at ServPro can help make fire and water damage like it never even happened. So make the call to 1-800-SERVPRO at the first sign of water damage. Franchises are independently owned and operated.
Hi, I'm Test Director Rick from ServPro, the leader in cleaning, restoration, and construction. It's my job to make sure our pros are prepared for anything. Storm damage? Fixed. Flood damage? We're on it. Fire damage? Not anymore. Aliens? What aliens? We cleaned those sites a while ago. No matter the disaster, our pros will make it like it never even happened. Find out why ServPro is the #1 choice for residential and commercial restoration projects large and small. Visit servpro.com today.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I've had a high energy level every day, and I've just been doing great. And I just feel like it's a definite advantage to take them. Well, let me just say one other thing. I mentioned to my doctor that I was taking Balance of Nature, and they said they were very positive about that. And they said that was really good. That's a good product. And so I've been very pleased.
Start your journey to better health with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first preferred order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Have you been struggling to find an easy, safe, and secure document scanning solution for Salesforce.com, Microsoft 365, SharePoint, or OnBase by Highland? Your struggle is now over, and it's time to get your documents and operations into the 21st century. With IoT Smart Connected Scanning, it's easy to turn physical paper into digital documents and have them directly uploaded to the cloud with IoT Smart Connected Scanning from IDT. And you don't need a degree in computing or IT to make it happen. Using QR code technology uniquely configured for your specific business, anyone can set the IoT Smart Connected Scanning device up in 5 minutes or less, saving your organization money and valuable time. Remote employees can even capture documents and send them safely and seamlessly. Organize documents efficiently and securely with IoT Smart Connected Scanning from IDT. To see a demo or to order now, go to ready4idt.com. That's ready4idt.com. Use promo code SMART and receive 10% off your order. IDT, putting paper in its place.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Econ 101 with Steve Moore, 737.
And later, what should a man get who hasn't missed a day of work in 27 years? But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
65 degrees, 732, dense fog advisory for 30 more minutes. for much of the western suburbs. The McHenry County Sheriff's Office is conducting a death investigation in unincorporated Crystal Lake this morning. McHenry County Sheriff's Office says deputies responded to the 5800 block of Wild Plum Road for a report of multiple victims with gunshot wounds. So far, 4 have been injured. A lottery player in Florida has won the $1.58 billion Mega Millions jackpot. The ticket bought at a Publix grocery store in the town of Neptune Beach. Wildfires on Maui, fanned by strong winds, have burned multiple structures, forcing evacuations and power outages on that Hawaiian island in several communities. Ohio voters went to the polls Tuesday for a special election with just one measure on the ballot, known as Issue 1. The statewide ballot measure would have increased the percentage of the vote needed to amend the state's constitution from a simple majority to 60%.
If you want to change the law, we should have a higher standard.
Republican Lieutenant Governor John Husted backed the issue. French authorities say 11 are missing after a fire broke out early this morning at a holiday home for people with disabilities in eastern France. Rescue operations near the border with Germany are still ongoing. Minion Moore, an advisor to President Joe Biden during his nomination of the first black woman to the U.S. Supreme Court, has been named chair of the 2024 Democrat National Convention next summer here in Chicago. Moore, a Chicago native, is a confidant of Hillary Clinton and is also credited with playing a role to help get Vice President Kamala Harris on Biden's 2020 presidential ticket. Moore grew up in the city, went to CVS, and graduated from the University of Illinois at Chicago, then went to work for the National Rainbow Push Coalition and worked on Jesse Jackson's 1988 failed presidential campaign. Opening statements will begin today in the perjury trial for the longtime chief of staff of former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan. Timothy Mapes is charged with lying to a grand jury in the federal probe that led to Madigan's indictment last year in a racketeering case. Chicago sports. Cubs 3-2 winners over the Mets at Citi Field, while the White Sox lost to the Yankees 7-1. The news, a service of MyPillow. Big news. The MyPillow employees want to thank you by giving you the lowest price in history on their MyPillows. Queen-size MyPillows, regular price $69.98, now $19.98 with promo code LIBERTY. And a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager sees tough times.
Liberals continue to vote as if everything is normal, and the Republicans are the enemy. No matter what the left does, liberals keep voting left. We're living through a very, very perilous time. Liberals are the problem because they are the ones who put the left in power.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Charlie Kirk at 1 on AM 560. The Answer.
Does your business have a problem that needs fixing? Whether you need to change your financial picture, strengthen your leadership team, or help with IT management, Turnkey has solutions. Make Turnkey your small business partner and get ready to streamline success. Inflation and economic downturn don't have to impact your business with the right partner. Now until September 30th, Turnkey is offering the first and last month of services at no cost. That's right. Sign on with Turnkey for any of their IT or business solutions, and your first and last months are free. You'll save hundreds or even thousands. With decades of C-suite experience from their consulting team to over 25 years of managed IT services, Turnkey knows small business. They know how to reduce your costs, grow new revenue streams, and more without having to hire on-site professionals. There's still time to make an impact in the second half of the year. Let Turnkey show you how. Turnkey is Chicago's small business champion. Visit turnkey.pro and start a conversation today.
That's turnkey.pro.
Are you turning 65 and thinking about Medicare? Or are you over 65 and haven't enrolled yet because you still have coverage at work? Either way, Medicare done correctly will be the best health insurance you will ever have. Imagine having nationwide access with an annual deductible of only $226. There are only two good things about aging, wisdom and Medicare. But to navigate the Medicare maze properly, you need a mentor. Best part, my guidance costs you nothing. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Medicare, then you need a local expert on your side. Your own health insurance mentor. See Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 28-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for more than a decade. Steve, how can listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551.
It's a big deal because your finances are a really big deal. Wintrust Community Banks would like to announce our newest and greatest 11-month CD rate with a whopping 5.35% APY. Act now and you can lock in 5.35%. Just go to wintrust.com/locknewrates and start earning more. Annual percentage yield accurate as of May 5th, 2023 and assumes funds remain on deposit until maturity. Minimum daily balance of 1 cent required to obtain APY. $1,000 minimum to open. New money only. Offer may change at any time and without notice. Member FDIC.
Hey, I'm Raquel.
And I'm Babette.
Here to invite you to listen to our show, Belly of the Beast,
where we tackle all the hot topics and issues that you are talking about today.
So join us each week for our
hard-hitting,
fun,
informative,
topical,
out there
radio show where we leave nothing on the table.
Belly of the Beast, heard every Saturday evening at 7, right here on AM 560, The Answer. And follow us on Facebook at Belly of the Beast IL.
Angie makes it easier than ever to connect with skilled pros to get your home projects done well, from repair to remodel. Get started on the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
7:39. Let's get an update on the roads. AM 560. Traffic is a service of the Team Hochberg, and in the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, we're seeing 25 minutes in Lake Cook Road to the junction. The Kennedy right now, jam solid central to Montrose, 44 in O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. Ike on the inbound side, 50 minutes, 390 to the old post office. Stevenson jammed, Harlem to Kedzie. Right now, 44 minutes into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Bridge inspection will have a left lane closed until 2 p.m. on southbound 55 from past US 6 to Bluff Road. Now there is a crash involving 4 cars, including an Illinois State Trooper, mixed in right at the bridge where that left lane is closed on southbound 55. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. We'll have some sun for the AM, then clouds in the PM, and maybe an afternoon thunderstorm, but likely only for the far southern suburbs, and a high of 84. 66 right now. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Are you suspicious at all, Amy, about this move to go cashless? And I'm not just talking about at Wrigley or Comiskey. I mean, it's society-wide.
Yeah. I'm very, like East Bank Club, you cannot, it's no cash anymore. It's been that way since COVID, because money was dirty and could have germs on it. Oh, my God, not germs. So it's been that way. But in Australia, they got rid of, they're going all cashless, right?
Well, they're moving in that direction.
Australia is slowly shifting towards being cash-free. More than $1 billion worth of notes have disappeared from circulation in the past 12 months. It follows the Commonwealth Bank's decision to start trialling cashless branches across Sydney. Economists say a cashless society will hurt criminals on the black market. but will make life more difficult for the elderly who rely on notes and coins.
It's more than just a generational concern, but that's among the concerns. Stephen Moore joins us now, economist, author of Govzilla, How the Relentless Growth of Government is Devouring Our Economy and Our Freedom. Yeah, like a centralized digital currency. Steve Moore, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hi, Dan. Hey, hi, Amy. Great to be with you guys.
Hello. So what do you think?
What do you think about going cashless and central bank digital currencies?
So I think there are two issues here. I mean, one is, are we going to go cashless over the next 20 years? Absolutely. I mean, I used to carry a couple $100 in my wallet. Now I barely have any cash in my wallet because I have a plastic card that I can use, with my little. I love the thing you can.
As long as your wife allows you to use it.
Yeah. Well, she's the one. She's the enforcer, right? She puts me on a very tight credit limit. But the point is, it is inevitable that we will go to. It'll be electronic transfers. So. And that's a good thing. I mean, it makes life a lot more. It means that, somebody's not going to come up to you, put a gun at your head and say, "Give me all the cash in your wallet." Sorry, I've got $14. You really want to hold me up? But also, it just makes it more convenient for everyone that you don't have to carry loads of cash around. Now, the issue that you're bringing up, Dan, is who's going to monitor all this? Who's going to keep control of all these transactions, and who's going to have the information? And I don't want the government to do it. This is why I've been a big fan of things like cryptocurrencies. And, cryptocurrencies come with some risk, no question about it. But I believe that we could have over the next quarter century, a future where the government really doesn't control the money supply, where it's done.
Really?
I do.
Well, why would the federal government give up control of the currency? How
are they going to stop it? How
they stop it by saying our full faith and credit is behind this digital currency we created, not Bitcoin or some other crypto.
That's true. That is true, and what you're saying is that's why I'm not saying everybody's going to migrate to cryptos, but people are concerned about the government knowing about all your transactions. I think what you'd have is competing currencies. Yes. The full faith and credit of the United States government does stand behind, our debt, and it does stand behind our currency. But if you don't want the government knowing everything about you, then you might want to turn to Bitcoin or other.
But the problem with that is the governments are going to get together, and their central bankers are going to get together and say, we're going to do financial transactions. We're going to do business in the dollar. So the dollar digital, it'll be the reserve currency of the world, let's just say, for example. Right. And it'll be the same thing. So you're going to want digital dollars instead of tangible dollars. But it's the same dynamic. It's the same people with the same control, although it's even more now because now we can monitor, as you're saying, and we can turn you off and we can stop this purchase, as you have some of these crypto experts and these WEF folks talking about, buying a gun, that's a bad purchase. Buying a windmill, that's a good purchase. And so on and so forth.
You're right about that. That's exactly where the left wants to take us, and it's our job to make sure that doesn't happen. And that's why, look, first of all, it is inevitable that we're going to go to a cashless society. Just
really?
As everybody. Yeah. Well, yes.
I'm not going.
I'm not doing it. Just like my son says, "Mom, eventually you're going to have to get an electric."
All of your listeners. But I think over time you're going to see more and more people just using electronic debit and credit cards and things like that. Now the issue about whether you want the government to know about this stuff, how are they going to stop Bitcoin? How are they going to stop all these other private currencies? I mean, unless you've got.
You don't have to stop it. You don't have to stop it because people aren't transacting it. You don't have to stop the peso. People people aren't transacting it. They're transacting dollars. Or euros or yen or won. I mean, it's not right. So I mean so you're suggesting that essentially Bitcoin or some other cryptocurrency that's unregulated is going to have to win the market, is going to have to beat the combined power of the central governments of the West.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if you get a situation where the government abuses its power, and that happens all the time, then guess what? People are going to start to say, hey, wait a minute. I'm not going to use the digital dollar. I'm going to use the digital Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And so that what I'm saying is this becomes like a safety valve to hold. That's why, the Federal Reserve Board and all the federal regulators hate cryptocurrencies. They hate them because they don't want the competition. And we can't allow them in fact, they want to outlaw cryptocurrencies.
Exactly.
We can't allow that to happen.
Jack Smith is going to indict everybody who holds any cryptocurrency.
Well, if that happens, then we're really screwed. Then we are in a kind of Orwellian future where the government says exactly what you were talking about. I see that you're buying, a gun. That's not allowed. I see your thermostat is set a little too high. We're going to have to, take away your ability to set your I mean, look, we have big brotherism coming, and it is our job to make sure that government control of our lives is minimal as possible. But I do think this kind of electronic digital future actually reduces the power of government. You see it as a sinister force. I see it as possibly a positive force to restrain government.
Well, it could be. I mean, government is the sinister force. Technology isn't, but I mean, it's just that our nature of deference to government, our cultural problem here, is why I'm skeptical that we can forestall the government in this area. But that's me. I'm a cynic.
All right, Stephen Moore.
Yes, go ahead.
I wanted to go back to something you said about, basically a cashless society as a way to prevent crime, because Mayor Lightfoot, before she was kicked out of office by the voters, there was a lot of high crime area in these street vendors. People would just come up to them and steal their cash, and she had suggestion that they go cashless in order to stop crimes or thwart crimes from happening.
Yeah, right.
Do you think that is a viable reasoning for why they want to go cashless?
Yeah, I do. And by the way, if I have a solution to the people not stealing from the street vendors, why don't you hire more cops? Why don't you enforce the law? I mean, in New York, it's unbelievable that did you see that video of the it's gone viral of the guy taking his baseball bat and smashing the guy who's stealing? He's just going through with a big basket and taking all the stuff off the shelf. And now, did you see, Dan and Amy? They're actually prosecuting the store owner.
Of course they are.
Criminal. It's unbelievable.
Just like they prosecuted that bodega owner who had to defend himself against the guy who came behind. Remember, he stabbed him. They got in a fight. He stabbed him and killed him. And they had him in Rikers Island. I mean, of course, he was ultimately released, but that's not the point. This is their attitude. Their attitude is you're supposed to be victims. You're supposed to play victim. And if we can't respond in time, well, that's too bad, so sad for you. But you're not allowed to defend yourself. Daniel Penny and the people on that train. It's sick.
And Dan, and guess what? The criminals aren't stupid, right? So if you watch that video, people should go online and watch it if you haven't seen it, because the criminal, he's got his hoodie on, you can't quite see his face, but he's laughing at he said, what are you guys going to do about it? As he spends like 3 minutes pulling all the stuff, and finally the guy just takes his baseball bat and starts whacking him, and he falls down on the ground, and he's the victim. The criminal is the victim. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. We've gone so far to, and by the way, Sometimes that visual anti-justice, it may be the best way to deter crime.
Yeah, that you better be careful. There are some business owners that aren't on board with the program. That's right. I wanted to get your take on something else. Yesterday, the big guy, Mr. 10%, that's President Biden, he walled off nearly 1 million acres of land that includes some of America's richest uranium deposits in declaring this, and giving this national monument designation for the greater Grand Canyon. And, of course, the uranium deposit's important to power things like nuclear power plants.
Of course. So
your reaction to that with respect to energy policy?
Well, first of all, people have to realize that west of the Mississippi River, almost half of the land is owned by the government. Did you guys know that?
Uh-huh.
So we call ourselves the land of the free. God darn it. We should have the government selling land, not purchasing it, not taking it. I think in this case, they just seized it. I mean, we need to privatize the land area. We have more minerals, more oil, more gas, more coal, more uranium, all of this stuff than any other country in the world. The United States is the most resource-rich place on the planet. And what the Biden administration is doing is buying up all of this. By the way, are they buying it or just taking it? I don't even know how they're
designating as a national monument. That's a taking.
Yeah, exactly. And so, come on. Utah and Arizona are like 80% owned by the government. So I thought we were in the land of the free. Hell no, we should not be. No. Of course, I'm saying our national monuments and national treasures like Yosemite and Yellowstone. Yeah, we want those to be owned by the government, but that's a small fraction. Am I going soft on you?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's this as well as I do, boy. It turns out land in private hands usually is better managed and stewarded than land in public hands.
I agree with you. Look at the wildfires. Those wildfires are lands, not on private lands, and so you're right. The private sector does a much better job of forest management. And I love this story, by the way, because did you see the carbon emissions from the Canadian and the California wildfires have emitted more carbon emissions into the atmosphere than all of the green programs have reduced carbon over the last 30 years.
Hey, Justin Trudeau is going through a hard time right now with his marriage, and now you're piling on. That's just mean-spirited.
It's rude.
It's unfortunate. Come on.
Are you guys still have some of the smoke there?
No.
In Chicago?
I can't tell.
I
can't tell. I don't know. It's just it's always soupy here. Steve Moore, economist.
We don't want the government. We don't want the government owning land. How about reducing our national debt by selling some of this stuff?
I'm all for it. Steve Moore, economist and Govzilla author. Thanks, Steve.
Okay, guys, have a great week. Bye.
Thanks, you too. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I'm Corey, and this is my story. I was going through some financial troubles paying off my credit cards. I was paying high interest rates, and it just wasn't getting any better. And I knew I had to do something. So my mom told me about Trinity, and so I decided to call. Trinity was able to do something that I couldn't. I'm paying off my debt, I'm saving thousands, and things are really looking up. I promise you guys, you will not regret it when you call Trinity, because it was such a relief and less stress in my life, and it was the best thing I could have done for myself, because once I called Trinity, they took care of me, and I felt such a relief, a weight off my shoulders. Trinity was great to work with. They wanted to help me. I love it.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
I'm Corey, and I'm debt-free for keeps.
1-800-990-6976.
You can shed that fat, be slimmer for the rest of the summer into the fall. No more wearing cover-ups or T-shirts in the pool. NJ Diet will help you the natural way. There are no shots, no hormones, and no surgery. You lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40-plus pounds in only 40 days with NJ Diet. They use your hair, saliva, and blood work, along with bioenergetic scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements that get your body into the fat-burning zone so you can finally lose that weight. Then NJ Diet uses DNA info to help you keep the weight off. Best of all, it's contractually guaranteed. You're fully supervised the entire time to make sure you're burning fat and not just losing water. And you even get Dr. T's personal email and phone number. Dr. T, Dr. Turovets, is the founder of NJ Diet. NJ Diet has locations close by in Skokie and Oak Brook, or is available from home with live online video consultations. 855-5NJ-DIET is how you get in contact with them to schedule your consult today. You can do so as well at njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com.
Are you looking for a fun and exciting way to connect with God and learn about His incredible world? Then In Grace has an adventure for you. Join Jim Scudder Jr. every Sunday morning at 6:30 on AM 560. Each week, Jim Scudder Jr. shares powerful stories and insights about God's Word and His world. Whether you're a longtime believer or just starting to explore your faith, you'll find something to learn, inspire, and encourage you on In Grace. You're also invited to join Pastor Scudder as he preaches every Sunday at 11 a.m. at the Quentin Road Baptist Church. At Quentin Road, you'll find a warm and welcoming atmosphere, uplifting worship, and a message of hope that will help you grow in your faith and walk with God. So don't miss In Grace with Jim Scudder Jr. on Sunday mornings at 6:30 a.m. And join us at Quentin Road Baptist Church on Sundays at 11 a.m. For more information, call 800-78-GRACE or go to ingraceradio.com.
One of the most important decisions you can make as a parent is where you send your kids to school. But these days, it's never been harder to know which school is best. Public schools have changed a lot, and you might be thinking about sending your child to a private Christian school. But you also know that private school can be expensive, and in this economy, you might think it's not an option. Well, think again. With halfpriceschools.com, you can purchase tuition vouchers for half the price of normal tuition for private schools. For nearly 10 years, halfpriceschools.com has helped families from all over Chicagoland make the dream of private school a reality. And that can be the reality for you and your child, too. Just go to halfpriceschools.com, search for a private Christian school near you, and purchase a voucher. It's that easy. Visit halfpriceschools.com. That's halfpriceschools.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I've had a high energy level every day, and I've just been doing great. And I just feel like it's a definite advantage to take them. Let me just say one other thing. I mentioned to my doctor that I was taking Balance of Nature, and they said they were very positive about that. And they said that was really good. That's a good product. And so I've been very pleased.
Start your journey to better health with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first preferred order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
America First with Sebastian Gorka today at 3, right before Sean Thompson at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
It's summertime, and you want to keep the shop, warehouse, and other doors open for ventilation. Air circulation improves the well-being of your employees and customers, but open doors can let in the uninvited, like strangers, birds, rodents, and bugs. Industrial Door Company of Chicago, Inc. can help solve the problem with a full line of commercial screen door products designed with these specific problems in mind. Call Industrial Door Company of Chicago, Inc. now. Also, regular scheduled maintenance is the key, and Industrial Door Company of Chicago, Inc. has multiple levels of maintenance programs for your company's needs and budget. They'll ensure your doors, grills, gates, and dock equipment are working to specification to increase the useful life of your doors. Visit their website to see a range of products and services at industrialdoor.com. Call anytime, 847-258-5620. Their team will be there to assist in designing a solution that works best for you. Since 1982, the Industrial Door Company of Chicago, Inc. takes care of your doors so you can take care of business.
News, opinion, insight. This is AM 560, The Answer. WIND Chicago. Streaming at 560theanswer.com. On the AM 560 mobile app. Tune in, iHeart, and on Odyssey.
2 weeks before the first Republican presidential debate, the second one is announced. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It'll be September 27th on Fox Business at the Reagan Library in California. The first debate is 2 weeks from tonight in Milwaukee on Fox News Channel.
They were all saying, is he going to go into the debate? And I say, I don't know. If you're leading by 50 and 60 and 70 points, do you do that or not? I don't know.
Former President Trump at a rally in New Hampshire, he's often suggested he might skip that debate. 7 others have met the polling and fundraising criteria, but Vivek Ramaswamy is the first and only candidate to sign a required pledge so far to back whoever the nominee is. At that same rally, the former president again claimed they're trying to silence him as he faces criminal charges in the election interference case.
When we say I can't talk, I will talk about it. I will. They're not taking away my First Amendment right.
Well, a judge has set a Friday hearing to consider a protective order to limit Trump comments on evidence and witnesses. In Ohio, 57% of voters have rejected a Republican attempt to make it tougher for ballot measures to amend the Constitution, requiring 60% approval. Well, Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose tells Fox keeping it a simple majority is dangerous.
They've got other bad plans. This radical abortion amendment this November that takes away parental rights.
Well, Democrats say putting abortion rights into the Ohio Constitution would protect women. Wildfires are burning in Hawaii, on the Big Island, and even worse on Maui.
Flames have engulfed much of the historic town of Lahaina, where some people even jumped into the water to escape smoke and flames, whipped up by Hurricane Dora several hundred miles to the south. Those gusty conditions and downed trees and power lines are also hampering firefighting.
Fox's Lillian Wu. A brush fire raged in Cedar Park, Texas.
The flames were as tall as the third-story apartment, so it was very intense.
One apartment building destroyed, 2 damaged. Someone got lucky last night in Neptune Beach, Florida. the only winner of the $1.58 billion Mega Millions jackpot. America's listening to Fox News.
65 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. The McHenry County Sheriff's Office is conducting a death investigation in unincorporated Crystal Lake this morning. McHenry County Sheriff's Office says deputies responded to the 5800 block of Wild Plum Road for a report of multiple victims with gunshot wounds. As of right now, 4 are reported injured. Minion Moore, an advisor to President Joe Biden during his nomination of the first black woman to the Supreme Court, has been named chair of the 2024 Democrat National Convention next summer here in Chicago. Moore grew up in the city, went to CVS, and graduated from the University of Illinois Chicago and worked on Jesse Jackson's failed 1988 presidential campaign. Opening statements begin today in the perjury trial of longtime Chief of Staff of former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan. Timothy Mapes is charged with lying to a grand jury in the federal probe that led to Madigan's indictment last year in a racketeering case. Jurors were chosen yesterday, and the trial is expected to last up to 3 weeks. A beloved Chinese restaurant in Chicago's Chinatown community is closing next week. 7 Treasures will permanently shut down August 15. The eatery is known for its popular barbecue pork, egg, and rice plate called the 554. Mike Tauchman, a solo home run, leading the Cubs over the Mets 3-2, while the White Sox lost to the Yankees 7-1. The news, a service of Tom Mirabali Insurance. You need a health insurance advocate, and you need Tom Mirabali Insurance, independent Blue Cross Blue Shield agent. Reach Tom at healthplanchicago.com. 8:04. Time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Signature Bank. Visit signaturebank.bank for all your commercial banking needs. Now the latest from the Fox Business Network.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Penn Entertainment shares are up 15% after Walt Disney's ESPN unit agreed to a $2 billion deal to get into sports betting. Penn's Barstool Sportsbook app will be rebranded as ESPN Bet this fall as part of a 10-year agreement. Barron says the betting deal could be a sign that Disney is making plans to sell ESPN because it's hard to imagine a place for gambling at Walt Disney. Wendy's is reporting a mixed quarter. Its earnings were better than expected. Sales were up, but Wall Street was expecting a bigger jump in sales. Office rental company WeWork says substantial doubt exists about the company's ability to continue as a going concern. Remote work has steadily reduced demand for its rentals. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Charlie Kirk wants the GOP to come together.
What is the goal? Is the goal to spend a bunch of money, make yourself feel good, or is the goal to defeat the Marxist Democrats in November of 2024? The Democrats know that their path to holding on power, despite them being unpopular, illegitimate, and traitors to America, is that our own side can't get its act together.
The Charlie Kirk Show. Afternoons at 1, right before Sebastian Gorka at 3 on AM 560. The Answer.
You've heard me tout the goodness that is 120 Life. It has so many benefits that I can't stop talking. It's my go-to juice. I drink it every day, help keep my blood pressure in check, and I feel better drinking it. It's packed with natural ingredients that have amazing health benefits like pomegranate, hibiscus, and cherry. 120 Life tastes good, and it feels good, especially when you pour it over ice. It comes in a convenient 8-ounce bottle that makes it easy to take on the go, as well as the new powdered drink mix with only 1 gram of sugar and 5 calories. Go to 120life.com. That's 120life.com. Use coupon code LIBERTY. Save 15% off plus free shipping. And you can earn customer rewards points with every order. Points that you can collect and redeem for product discounts up to $50. Check it out at 120life.com. That's 120life.com. Make it easy to manage your high blood pressure. Try it today. Order now, 120life.com, and use coupon code Liberty. Save 15%. 120life.com. 120 Life. I love this stuff.
Russian officials recently revealed a new global supercurrency backed by physical gold will be announced on August 22nd with support from China, India, and other countries. Many economists warn this could radically change the world economy and possibly destroy the value of the dollar. And that means the value of your 401k or IRA is at risk. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. I want to urge you to protect yourself and your family right now. How? By diversifying your 401k or IRA into physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. August 22nd will be here before you know it, so take action today. Fortify your nest egg using the power of gold inside of a tax advantage account. Text PROTECT to the number 989898. That's PROTECT to 989898 to get your free information kit on gold IRAs right now.
8:07, and a check of the roads now in our Team Hochberg Traffic Center. We'll start on the inbound Kennedy, 64 minutes, and climbing O'Hare into the Burn Circle interchange. Eichen, 51 minutes, 390 to the old post office. You'll ride the brakes Mannheim all the way to Ogden. Stevenson in 46 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Problems on southbound 55. Right now, your delay is from US 6 to past Bluff Road. First of all, you have bridge inspection there in a right lane that's closed until 2 p.m. And you tack on a major crash, 4 cars involved, including one state trooper that's mixed in at Bluff at the left-hand lane right now on southbound 55. Bishop Ford and I-57 jamming into the Ryan merge. Right now, the Tri-State jamming up northbound right at I-88, the Reagan Tollway. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Steve Williams.
Some sun and turning cloudy. Thunder shower late afternoon. High today 84. A shower in spots early this evening. Then cloudy for tonight. Low 65. Sun patchy clouds tomorrow. The high tomorrow afternoon at 84. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
68 at O'Hare. 71 along the lakefront. 69 at Midway. Your next news update is at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560 The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. We talked about this several weeks ago when Ford announced that it would be eliminating the AM radio in its 2024 offerings and then reverse course. But all these protestations about AM radio, the future of AM radio, and I said at the time, regardless of what Ford does, the death of AM radio is greatly exaggerated. For other reasons. It's not just the access in the car. Obviously, this is important, but it's also the unique nature of the medium being two-way communication. I was having a cigar yesterday after the show, and I met Don from Bloomingdale, who calls in the show all the time.
Okay.
So I never met him before in person, but he was in the cigar shop. And introduced himself, and he's like, I feel like I know you, and you get this all the time, right?
Oh, all the time.
People calling
People
because
come out, how are Peyton and Eli?
Yeah.
They going to school?
Right.
How are their grades this year? Blah, blah, blah.
And of course, I said in response, does anyone really know anyone? I want you to think about that, Don.
And when I go to events and you're not there, where's Dan? Where's Dan? He's in the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
It's my standard line.
So that makes it different. And so in a podcast world where people can listen at their convenience, not necessarily the appointed time, I mean, there's other variables and dynamics to how people consume media, and being in or out of the cars is not going to be the make or break for radio, but certainly it's important. Certainly you want that convenience, and you want to be in as many places as people are where they can easily access your product. That's certainly our position. And I think it's the position of our corporate overlords, too. One of them joins us now. Nick Anderson lobbies for Salem on Capitol Hill. Salem Media, like the company that owns AM 560. Okay. He lobbies for Salem on Capitol Hill as Government Affairs Director and General Manager of Salem Media Twin Cities. And he joins us now. Nick, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. So, give us your take on what happened with Ford. They make this announcement, then there's pushback, and they reverse. So, where are the big automakers when it comes to the nature of your dashboard in the future?
Well, it's a great question. There's still 8 manufacturers that are sitting out there that have said we're not going to put the AM receiver in their vehicles. So we're trying to work with those 8 manufacturers. As you said, Dan, Ford did reverse course. They're the ones that came out and kind of, I guess you would say, spooked the industry by saying not only are we not going to put it into our electric vehicles, we're not even going to put it in our combustible engine. They did reverse course. The problem, though, with Ford is they haven't given us any inkling of what they're going to do post-2024. They only said they were going to put it back in for 2024, and they're kind of stalling on us. So our goal, our industry's goal, Salem's goal, is to figure out what we're going to be doing post-2024 with a lot of these auto manufacturers, and then working with the 8 that have said, no, we're not going to put AM receivers in the vehicle.
Well, what are their 8 manufacturers? Can you tell us their names?
Yeah, Amy, thank you. BMW is one of them. Mercedes is another one. Volkswagen. Let me see if I can find the rest of them. But those are
all the big automakers.
I know,
what do you mean?
People are car shopping. I mean, I met one gentleman who said if they don't have AM radio in a car, I'm not buying that car.
Yeah, well, just ask. Yeah.
Well, and that's the interesting thing that you guys bring up is I have a colleague here in the Twin Cities who just bought a vehicle a couple of months ago, and she told me the story. And they went on to turn on the Twins game, and the Twins game wasn't there. They couldn't find the AM band. They had no idea. And part of the legislation that we're working with on Capitol Hill right now, that's part of the issue. That's one of the reasons why we have this legislation, is that automakers are not letting the consumer know that the AM receiver is not in there. And so part of this legislation is actually informing the consumer when you're on the auto lot that it specifically says there is no AM receiver in the vehicle.
Well, what else does the legislation that's being advocated for do?
So that it's really a 3-legged stool. The first leg and the biggest leg is that mandates an AM receiver in the vehicle through the Department of Transportation. And it's there for the safety reason. And you mentioned, what AM radio does for the consumer and for the listener and the audience, and I couldn't agree with you more. But what AM radio also is it's a fabulous emergency response tool. It's the backbone of the emergency alert system. And it's, when it comes to times of need, like severe weather, blizzards, wildfires, AM radio is better and the most awesome tool compared to even your cell phone because of the far reach and the way that the signal works. And because of generators, we can keep radio stations powered and going, where if you have an electric grid that fails, you can't charge your phone. You can't use it when needed. And it's an incredible tool and an asset to really the community. And so that's why we're using it as a safety tool in the vehicle. The other items are we're making it stay free in the vehicle. We do not want automakers to charge for it because that's the fear, and that's what we're seeing. Some of these automakers are becoming subscription-based. You buy a car and they want to charge you $18 a month to use seat warmers or to go faster. That's one of the things that BMW is doing with some of their vehicles, is they're charging subscription base. And so we want to make sure AM and FM receivers are free, especially AMs. And the third one is in making sure that the consumer knows on the auto lot that it doesn't have the receiver in there and not being surprised.
What can lovers of AM radio do to help?
Contact your member of Congress, Amy. That's the biggest thing. Right now we have a legislation, the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act, that's sitting in Capitol Hill, or on Capitol Hill right now, and I'll tell you the bipartisan support of this bill is wonderful. Members of both parties are all over this. And on the Senate side, it's being led by two completely different sides of the spectrum. Edward Markey of Massachusetts, Ted Cruz of Texas. These two have never agreed on anything, may never agree on anything, but they came together on this bill. And so we ask our, the AM 560 listeners to either text. You can text to 52886, the letters AM. Or you can just call your member of Congress. We provide the text number as an easy way to reach out to them, but AM at 52886, you'll be able to send your message to your member of Congress and let them know how much you love AM radio and keep it in the car.
All right, that text again, AM to 52886. The legislation, if you call your member of Congress, AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act, AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act. Nick Anderson, he lobbies for Salem Media on Capitol Hill. He's Government Affairs Director and General Manager of Salem Media Twin Cities. Nick, thanks thanks for joining us, I should say, and for all you're doing in D.C.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
There is a place in northern Illinois where people have received large sums of money for a handful of old change.
That's right. Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Naperville pays big cash for old coins. Many places buy gold and silver. Fox Valley Coins does that too, but they pay more for the rare ones. A true story. Recently, a lady came in with a pouch full of old silver dollars. A few better ones, but most were run-of-the-mill, and they added up to a few $1,000s. But for one silver dollar, Fox Valley Coins offered $4,300. She had no idea and was shocked.
An honest coin dealer. He actually pointed out the rare ones? Fox Valley Coins buys and sells with free verbal appraisals. Just north of I-88 on Route 59 in Naperville. FoxValleyCoins.com. Over 40 years of family-owned integrity.
All right, I love it. I had to spend a few days without taking a Balance of Nature, and I have to tell you, I really noticed a difference. I need those fruits and veggies. Why? Because, I'm not eating a well-balanced meals, I'm not part of a well-balanced diet on my own, and that's where Balance of Nature comes in. 31 different fruits and veggies. Can you even name 31 different fruits and vegetables? Real food, real science, real nutrition. People who take it have increased energy. They feel like they're able to do the things that they love, even as they age. I'll never forget, I met a man who was 55 years old. He said, I started taking Balance of Nature when I was 50, and I noticed no difference in my capacity to do things even as I get older. So be one of the cool kids. Get your bottles of fruits and veggies today. First timers, free shipping and 35% off their first preferred order of fruits and veggies. And the number to call is 800-246-8751, 800-246-8751. Be sure to use discount code Chicago or simply go online to balanceofnature.com. Discount code Chicago.
You are invited to attend the Father's Tom Art Show, inspiring faith in God through beauty with Father Tom Loya and Father Tom Coys. Sunday afternoon, August 13th from 2 until 4. You'll enjoy original art by both priest artists, Father Tom Loya and Father Tom Coys. Stroll through the different galleries featuring original art, while also enjoying a light summer sangria wine and cheese buffet. Learn how beauty can lead to a deeper longing for the divine artist. That's the Father's Tom Art Show with both artist priests Father Tom Loya and Father Tom Coys. Sunday afternoon from 2 until 4, August 13th at Annunciation Byzantine Catholic Church, 14610 South Wilcook Road, Homer Glen, Illinois. The Father's Tom Art Show is co-sponsored by Annunciation Byzantine Catholic Church and the Sag Bridge Mission Society.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at gawon'twait.com. That's gawon'twait.com.
Hi folks, Sebastian Gorka here. Are you worried about investing in the stock market, especially with Joe Biden in office? Do you really trust this economy? What if you could invest in a secure, collateralized portfolio with a high fixed rate of return that's not correlated to the stock market or the Fed? A portfolio where you'll know what each monthly statement will look like with no surprises. Your interest is compounded daily, you're paid monthly, and there are no fees. You can turn your income on or off, compound it, whatever you choose. And get this, there is absolutely no loss of principal if you ever need your money back. Just go to Invest Y Refi. That's invest, the letter Y, then refi.com, or call 888-Y-REFI-24. You can earn a fixed rate of return of up to 10.25%. Just call 888-Y-REFI-24 or go to investYRefi.com and tell them Dr. G sent you.
There are more than 50 million people enslaved in the world today. Most of them are women and children.
They lock you in cellars or in rooms with no windows. 95% of girls that are born in the brothels remain trapped in the brothels for the rest of their lives.
SOS International is working to make freedom possible for these women and kids. And with your help, today can be the day another victim comes into freedom.
By the hundreds, we are saving those girls and bringing them to a secure place, a place that is a safe home for them to grow in.
Just $150 makes freedom possible for a trafficking victim. It provides shelter, food, counseling, everything they need to start a new life. Make freedom possible now. Visit 560theanswer.com/SOS. Every day that goes by is another day of suffering and abuse. But you can change it now. You can make today the day of freedom and rescue. Learn how you can bring freedom now at 560theanswer.com/SOS. AM 560, The Answer.
Have it your way. Have it your way. Have it your way at Burger King.
Now, a little fast food update. Try to make a peace offering between Christie and Trump since they're both fast food aficionados.
And can they just stop fighting like two little sorority girls?
No,
I'm
that's
so
fine.
sick of it.
That's fine.
I called you fat. Oh, you told me that to my face. Chris Christie responded. Come
Kevin Ford is a cook and a cashier at a Burger King in the Las Vegas McCarran International Airport. Been there for 27 years. You think perfect attendance? You used to get a ribbon, like a perfect attendance at school. I got a perfect attendance ribbon.
Did you wait? Did you have perfect attendance?
I did.
at school? See, if we had perfect attendance at Indian Grove or River Trails, we got to go to the Cubs game for free. So yes, you and I both had perfect attendance, but that's shunned upon now because of COVID.
Perfect attendance at your job for 27 years as a cook and cashier at the Burger King in Vegas gets you, well...
What did they give him for his retirement, Dan? I have the list.
Well, he's not retiring yet.
Yeah.
But he did get a goodie bag, a swag bag.
No, a drawstring bag. That's the cheapest kind of bag you can get, by the way.
That's true. Movie ticket.
Starbucks cup.
Some candy.
And 2 packs of Lifesavers and...
a couple pens and a couple keychains. He posted this on TikTok, and he didn't post it like complaining. He was like, this guy is like, he was actually appreciative.
Yeah, give a 2 thumbs up in the TikTok video. Like, hey, I've been here 27 years, have not missed a day in 27 years.
Proud of his perfect attendance record, as well he should be. And interesting, too, the backstory. Single dad began working at the Burger King at the airport in 96 after gaining custody of his daughters. Stayed there because of the health insurance, which covered his 4 daughters. First 2 daughters he got custody of. It covered his 4 daughters through high school and college. Well, some people saw this and like, well, 27 years, perfect attendance, maybe you could do a little bit better than some candy, some keychains, a movie ticket, and a Starbucks cup.
And a drawstring bag. Sorry, I can't get over that.
Yeah, apparently. So somebody put up a GoFundMe page, and over the last year, it's raised $400,000, including $5,000 from David Spade.
David Spade, even
Yeah,
5K?
good for David Spade.
Wow. He appreciates hard work and commitment. That's what that takes.
And he said that he's going to use the funds to visit his grandchildren, which I guess he has now done. In April, he did it because this has been going on for a year.
Okay. So he is a lot of
13,500 donations, $400,000. So I mean, maybe there's still some hope for America. Some generous people out there that are, appreciative of a guy who's appreciative. He's not looking for anything. He's just doing his job and supporting his family.
And who set up the GoFundMe? One of his coworkers? We don't know. I'm sure he didn't set it up himself.
One of his daughters did.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, his daughter Serena did, asking people to donate if they feel like blessing him. And they
Good
did.
for her.
Oh.
And
And
when was the last time you've been to a Burger King? You don't seem like a Whopper guy.
It's
but
been a
maybe you
minute.
dabble.
It's been a minute. Yeah.
I used to
When was
go
the
to-
last time you were at a Burger King?
I asked you so that you would ask me.
I know. Yeah, of course.
Well, we have a Burger
I know
King.
you're not actually interested in my life. I know you're just using
No,
it
I
as a
was
setup
just
to
wondering
talk
if
about
you're
yourself.
a Whopper, double Whopper with cheese kind of guy.
All right.
No, I'm just
you can stop pretending now. The
Okay,
jig
the
is
most-
up. So just
the
tell us
most-
what you want to tell us.
The most creative way I was ever asked out on a date was I went to the burger. I got off work at Diamond Dave's in Randhurst Mall.
Was that when you were like a side hustle when you were at NBC5?
No, it's when I was
Oh.
in high school. Walked over to the Burger King. I think I was with Kathy Buno, yes, and my friend and some other friends. And I ordered a Junior Whopper, and I got the Junior Whopper. I opened it up, and handwritten, "I think you're hot. My name's Tom. Here's my number. Call me. I want to take you out on a date."
My
And he
name
put
is
that all in.
Tom Ford. He was now the cook and cashier at the No, his name's Kevin Ford. Son.
Sorry.
All right,
Darn
my
it,
name's,
I missed my chance.
My name's Tom and what?
He's like, "I think you're hot. You want to go on a date with me?" And he put his phone number in.
Who was he? He was the guy who made the burger?
Yeah, but he saw me from.
Oh, my, yeah. So, gosh.
Excuse me.
Such a vision.
I need romantic
He saw
music.
you
He
over the
saw-
fryer. His eyes were probably watering. It was probably blurry.
Bill Clinton saw Hillary in the library and he wanted to touch her
Exactly.
back. This guy saw me from across the fryer
Uh-huh.
and the hot box stand or whatever you call that, where they keep the food warm, the warmer,
Uh-huh.
the counter, the register, and there I was.
And you said, I don't go out with fry cooks, loser. I'm a big shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so did you go out with Tom?
No. I ate the thing and threw it in the garbage. When I waved, I thought that was nice. Like, thank you.
Oh,
That's-
yeah. It's
hey.
real nice. You broke his heart. That's real nice. Why, you just freaking humiliate him at his place of business. It's a nice, great story. You're the opposite of all the people who donated to Kevin Ford.
Maybe I'll make up for
Workaday
it by...
slob there who's trying to, get a date with the hot chick at Hersey High School, and he just gets sure. I mean, it's almost like the setup for like some sort of, prom night teenage revenge movie. You're lucky.
Oh.
You're lucky you survived high school.
I should have gone to prom with him. He could have been number 9.
What happened to Tom?
I don't know.
Boy.
I don't know.
I'll
But
tell you
maybe I'll
what.
donate to Kevin Ford just to make
well,
up for my lost
boy.
love
You
at Burger
better-
King.
I'd be careful if I go to a Burger King. That story probably got around,
Yeah.
and I'd have eyes in the back of my head if I go into a Burger King.
Joe Dirt, David Spade,
Yeah.
$5,000.
Yeah.
Kind of goes hand in hand with the persona of that
great.
movie.
Yeah, it really does. It really
Good
does.
observation. All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Mm.
What?
I
Now
don't
I'm
know. I'm
hungry
sort
for
of
a
interested
Junior
in-
Whopper.
I was a burger chef guy, so
Oh, you
know.
were? Did you ever ask a girl out on a burger box?
Burger Chef was over and done with long before I asked anyone out to on
Where
a
did you
date.
work? Burger King, McDonald's?
No, Domino's Pizza.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Tom Monahan, University of Michigan guy.
Ave Maria.
Mhm.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Tom Monahan. I don't know. I don't know. We probably have to talk about some serious topics, but I mean, if there's anybody else who'd like to call in, Tom from Burger King, or anybody else who's been mistreated by Amy Jacobson over the years, we'll take your calls. 838.
Front of the line, I think. Yeah.
Yes. Mike Scott, take it away.
832, 65 degrees. The Biden administration in just moments will outline plans to prohibit some investments in Chinese technology. The goal is to keep U.S. money from bolstering China's military and other threats to national security, and an executive order could be in place by the end of the day. A lottery player in Florida won the $1.5 billion Mega Millions jackpot, buying that ticket at a Publix grocery store in Neptune Beach, Florida. Ohio voters deciding against stricter rules on passing constitutional amendments in the state. The issue failed, with roughly 57% of voters saying no. Hawaii's acting governor, Sylvia Luke, is activating the National Guard, responding to a series of fires that have triggered evacuations on Maui and the Big Island. Opening bell ringing on Wall Street this morning after stocks closed lower on Tuesday. That came after credit rating agency Moody's downgraded America's banking sector. McHenry County Sheriff's Office tells us they're conducting a death investigation in unincorporated Crystal Lake. McHenry County Sheriff's Office saying deputies responded to the 5800 block of Wild Plum Road for a report of multiple victims of gunshot wounds, and 4 have been injured. Minion Moore, an advisor to President Joe Biden during his nomination of the first black woman to the U.S. Supreme Court, has been named chair of the 2024 Democrat National Convention next summer in Chicago. Opening statements will begin today in the perjury trial of the longtime chief of staff of former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan. Timothy Mapes is charged with lying to a grand jury in the federal probe that led to Madigan's indictment last year. Chicago Area Postal Workers Union showing their concern for the safety of mail carriers at a rally yesterday on Chicago's South Side.
I am echoing the fears of my members of having to come to work in fear, scared, and wondering if they will be the next victim.
The Illinois State Association of Letter Carriers and the National Association of Letter Carriers calling for federal and state prosecutors to prioritize cases involving crimes against letter carriers. No one is in custody following a deadly shooting on Chicago's South Side. Police tell us 3 jumped out of a dark sedan and began shooting at 2 men standing on a sidewalk last night in the 500 block of East 72nd. Chicago sports, Cubs 3-2 winners over the Mets, while the Yankees beat the White Sox 7-1. The news, a service of Dan and Amy 24/7. You can now enjoy uninterrupted programming from Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson around the clock, all day, every day. Listen now, Dan and Amy247.com. And a check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says it's not just political figures getting attacked.
You hear the kind of vitriol that they are directing towards all of the Republican candidates. They're coming after you and me. They don't hate them. They don't hate Trump. They don't hate DeSantis. They hate Republicans. They hate Americans. They hate the country to begin with. And who could doubt that?
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
My son was saying, Mom, why are you paying so much for this? The supplement store has the exact same thing. And I said, no, they don't. You know, because he was telling me that they have similar products as Balance of Nature. But then when he came over to my house and he looked at the label of the Balance of Nature about all the, ingredients and everything, he realized, oh yeah, this is a superior product.
Start your journey to better health with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first preferred order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at gawon'twait.com. That's gawon'twait.com.
8:37 Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, a service of Blindster.com. At Blindster.com, they offer over 50 different custom window treatments, including fall wood, blinds, and shutters, all at prices less than retail. Plus, they'll send you free samples before you buy. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com. Eden's 28 minutes inbound Lake Cook Road to the junction, the Kennedy, 72 in O'Hare to the Burns Circle interchange. The Ike right now, red numbers all the way in, 58, 390 into the old post office. Stevenson, 40 minutes, 355 to DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Again, highlighting I-55 southbound from US 6 all the way to Bluff Road, where there is an accident in the left-hand lane. 4 vehicles involved, including a state trooper. Heavy tow for the semi is on the way as well. That's all part of a package that includes a bridge inspection closing a right-hand lane in that exact area until 2 p.m. as well. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. We'll have some sun this morning, cloudy in the afternoon, a thunder shower possible for the far southern suburbs later in the afternoon, high 84. 68 right now at O'Hare, 71 Lakefront. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
Time now for another reason why Dan Proft is single.
You know, I was going to talk about something else, but after you told me the story how you brutally rejected Tom, the fry cook at Burger King, I mean, all the feelings of rejection that I have suffered over the many years came flooding back. All the times that I asked somebody to go for a soda.
Or a ice cream or something.
Yeah.
Or to a movie.
Shooting.
Or to a cigar store.
Cigar store, exactly. All those romantic gestures.
Yeah, or to CPAC. Yeah, you know, one of those.
Right.
Would you care to go with me to CPAC?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got a lot of text
Care to
messages.
watch Free to Choose with Milton Friedman, come back and watch some videos about economics.
No, what was your worst rejection?
Well, those things, I mean, those things can break a young man.
Now you're making me feel bad because he was kind of cute, but
Well-
I think he's a little too short for me.
Well, I tracked down Tom. Actually, I didn't.
Oh.
The New York Post did.
Oh, really? They found him.
Tom, he's 54 years old.
Oh, that would make that's my wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm. He is married. His wife is Karina. It was actually Danica Daniel, who writes the Under the Covers column for the New York Post. She found him. Here's the situation now with Tom. I mean, remember what I said about that sort of rejection? It just breaks you. You're never the same. So, all you hot chicks out there, you may want to take some notice of what Amy did to Tom, who goes under the name Rod now.
Rod purchased his sex doll in 2021 and named her Karina. Rod, like many folks, was suffering from a breakup, and the carpenter decided that he needed to fix some things that his tools just weren't equipped for. And so he went online and searched for sex stimulation toys, and sex dolls popped right up, and that's when he got the idea to embark on a relationship with his new boo, Karina. Despite having no past experience with sex dolls, the 54-year-old said that Karina definitely changed his life for the better. And he was so confident in his new relationship with his sex doll, Karina, that he actually introduced the doll to his mother, Victoria, for Christmas. Rod's 85-year-old mother was, of course, a little taken aback, but after a while, she got in on the fun. She started shopping with Rod for outfits for Karina, jewelry. She warmed up to Karina so much that Rod says that his mother looks at Karina like a long-lost daughter and has totally accepted this doll into their family.
Oh, well, that was Karina first, and then came Lauren, and a bit of a side hustle. He put down the fryer at Burger King. Take a listen.
After having so much success and pleasure from her, Rod decided to buy another doll for $2,000 and named her Lauren. Rod was actually able to parlay his obsession with his dolls into a side hustle. Rod was so good at posting his photos of Karina and Lauren online that a Chinese manufacturer reached out to him to ask him to take pictures of their sex dolls for social media posts and other promotional tools. With nearly 3,000 followers on Instagram and 5 brand ambassador deals, Tasha Marie is killing it on social media. The only thing is she's not breathing. She's a sex doll.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a whole nother avenue that could open up for Rod, a.k.a. Tom.
It's a whole
and
different
his wife, Karina, and his other wife, Lauren. I mean, but that's what you did. He couldn't operate in the world of real females. You disabused him of that possibility, and so that's where he went.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment.
I mean, you have to think like Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Fast Times, yeah. Right? And Judge Reinhold, with that pirate outfit, and then Phoebe Cates walks in the bathroom.
Wow.
Remember that?
You are
remember that?
Real deep, yeah.
Thinking fast food, young love, and those decisions that are made at those tender ages that have lifelong impacts. Don't you think? Frank Arlington tonight, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Like in that movie where the guy forgets his wallet on a date, and then his friend comes by and pretends that he found it somewhere and brings it to him, and then he goes and sleeps with the girl that he was going out with.
Oh, wow.
That's from Fast Times at Ridgemont High, too. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Frank, have you ever been rejected when you've asked a girl out on a date?
Of course. Once or twice. Yeah.
Once or twice you've asked, or once or twice you've been rejected?
Oh, just once or twice rejected. That's it.
Oh, normally.
Well, did you ask
Frank,
her out in a creative
normally
way?
Frank gets a yes.
Yeah, it's a yes. Yes. We've all had that happen to us, Dan. Even you.
And Frank,
well,
wait,
how do you handle it?
Frank, you're not married, are you?
I don't discuss these things.
I see.
So,
I see.
Yeah.
All right. I see.
Frank, do you have children?
He doesn't discuss those things.
Wait, hold on. Maybe I'll answer. Frank?
So are you having the Mandela effect, Amy?
The what effect?
Do you know what the Mandela effect is? It's where you misremember the past. This is the original purpose of my call.
Yeah.
Why were you? Did you work at Burger King on Central and Rand Road?
The answer is yes, and it doesn't matter what the particular story is. She absolutely is suffering from the Mandela effect.
I'm not making that story up at all.
All right, go ahead.
No, I worked at the Wendy's over there on Rand Road. That's where I worked at.
Oh, you're a Wendy's guy, huh?
Oh yeah.
Did you ever try the ask a girl out with condiments on a burger bun routine?
No, I never did that. Not once. I never asked anybody out who came in. Never. So
Did you want to, Frank?
Sure, but I didn't want to wear the hat or the apron either. I was kind of a rebel employee.
Well, the other thing, the other thing too is
nonconformist.
I don't want to hi-hat anybody, but Frank knew his place. A hot chick comes in and you're behind the counter on a fryer, and it's not going to happen.
Hey, I won, despite all of my antics, I still won the Wendy's $500 scholarship for college, and I got to meet Dave Thomas. So
Dave Thomas.
There we go.
Great.
Nice.
He was
Very
adopted.
good.
Yes.
Yeah, huge proponent of
he was
adoption.
a great guy.
Yeah.
He was a great guy.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
So anyway, the Mandela effect, that was a McDonald's there, not a Burger King. There was a McDonald's, a Boardwalk Fries, a Diamond Dave's, Manchewok.
No, Diamond. No. I wasn't.
Sbarro.
I worked at Diamond Dave's, and I walked outside and went to the Burger King. That was across the street.
You went to the Burger King. Yeah, was over there on Rand and Central.
Yeah, I just said Rand and Central.
That's the place.
So don't tell me I'm having this
All right.
mental breakdown.
Oh, gosh.
I know where I go, and I know where creative Ascouts have taken.
Northwestern Cook County folklore. It's fascinating. All right, thanks.
I've got one more.
All right, hurry up, Frank. God
Frank, we
bless
have other
it. Good
callers.
Jesus.
On Chris Christie and fast food. I think what would really help America if Christie and Pritzker ran together. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Oh,
That'd
that
be
would
great.
be.
You just have a big silhouette for their campaign symbol.
Those two aren't running anywhere, together or otherwise. Thanks for the call,
Real quick,
Frank.
Dan and Amy, it is a broiler. Flame broiled burgers at Burger King, not fried like McDonald's.
Well, can't you be what do they put the fries in? A fryer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't say it was the burgers. I said he was a fry cook.
Yeah.
Could have been on the fries.
Yeah.
I was assuming. Paul in New Lenox.
Hi, guys. Hey, it's great. I mean, you're going from fast food romance all the way to sex dolls.
Yeah.
I think this should be on the Sweeps Week coming up. But
yeah.
Didn't Ryan Gosling, I did not see the movie, but I seen something about where he was dating
Lars and the what was it called? Lars and the Girl. It's actually a really good movie.
Really? Because I said I'm not going to watch this. There's no way.
Lars and the Real Girl with Ryan Gosling. I remember.
Is it really good?
It's actually quite a good movie, and it's not it's not disgusting or anything like that.
Right.
No, not that Rod is.
Well, it's of a
disgusting.
kind-hearted but socially awkward young man. That's how they describe it. He gets involved with a doll.
Maybe that's why
Sex
it had such
doll.
appeal to me. Not the sex doll piece, the kind-hearted, but awkward young man. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Also, I think the Japanese are really catching on to the sex doll thing for some reason. I read, but it eludes me. So
well, they need to because they don't have their population is cratering.
Shrinking,
Thanks for the call, Paul.
Gotta find happiness somewhere, right? You do you.
Matt Southside.
I just gave him one. Hey, good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. I was going to say, if his mother's approving of this doll, I'm assuming she's not expecting grandchildren.
I don't know. He didn't mention that. Thanks for the call, Matt. Not sure. Maybe Lauren,
Maybe
the
a
other
fake baby
doll
doll.
would be the surrogate.
Yeah. Oh, trust me. They'll come up with something crazy. We had a guy at one of our events at AM 560. Well, it was Stephanie. God, I can't remember her last name. She was debating Michael Medved, and so was the left and the right there. And this leftist, he was
Stephanie
pushing,
Powers from Heart to Heart.
No, not
Oh.
what's her? And
No.
Keith, help me out.
Stephanie the Crank from the Progressive Radio.
Yeah.
Stephanie the Crank. That's
yeah.
close.
And so anyway, there was and he was a big fan of hers, and he was wheeling around his girlfriend, which was a sex doll. She was properly clothed, but he introduced me to her as his girlfriend. And he had brand new Uggs. He's like, "Do you like the Uggs that I bought her?" And I'm looking at him like, "This is severe mental illness."
What do you say? Love is love.
Oh.
Love is love.
I have a picture of it. I'm going to show you.
That's what I was taught by all of the enlightened folks in Illinois and elsewhere.
Well, even Stephanie was like, "Who is that?"
Love is
weirdo?"
love.
I'm like, well, he's your fan, not our fan.
Of course
so
he is.
He's all yours, girl. Here, I've got a picture of it right here. There she is. I'm not kidding. There's her Uggs, and he got a new dress. He did her hair, and he was explaining it to me as if she and I were going to have girlfriend talk. There's nothing wrong with that, right?
You know who that was?
Who is it?
That's Tom, the fry cook from Burger King. Don in Bloomingdale.
Hey, Dan, you know, if we had an FBI that did their job, this guy'd be finding all kinds of new relationships in prison because this guy is off the wall.
Look at that.
Well, I mean, yeah, all right. Thanks for the call.
This is
Don.
before sex dolls were cool, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he had to go right from his formative years to that's Tom. The picture you're showing me, that's Tom, and that's his wife Karina. They're very happy.
Can't remember what her name
Mom
was.
approves.
Hey.
Mike in Plainfield.
Hey, Danny. Do we have to add another symbol to the bathrooms now for dolls?
I think so. Actually, it's a good point.
That is a good point.
I mean, it's all about tolerance. It's about love and tolerance. Absolutely. Bob in Paloma, Michigan.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. I believe that Tom was so heartbroken that he moved to Neptune, Florida, and he is the single winner for the Mega Millions.
It serves her right, Bob.
That's
absolutely. Right. Yeah. See these $1.5 billion or whatever the payout is. Yeah. How do you like me now, hot stuff? Yeah.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. On AM 560. The Answer.
Are you a business owner with a strategic mission, a drive to succeed, and a plan for growth, but you just need the right bank? Hi, Mike Gallagher here, letting you know that Signature Bank is all about going the distance for commercial banking customers. It's what Signature Bank does every day. Their team understands that accessibility is key to their culture. In times like these, you want a bank that is there for you to weather the bad times and capitalize on the good. And with Signature Bank by your side, you can't go wrong. It's a true partnership. That's why Signature Bank in Chicago is my bank. That's right. I'm a customer. I believe in what they have to offer, from innovative tech and customized solutions to help your business grow and thrive. Reach out to my friends at Signature Bank. Call 773-467-5630, 773-467-5630, or visit them online at signaturebank.bank. That's signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank makes commercial banking personal. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I've had a high energy level every day, and I've just been doing great. And I just feel like it's a definite advantage to take them. Let me just say one other thing. I mentioned to my doctor that I was taking Balance of Nature, and they said they were very positive about that. And they said that was really good. That's a good product, and so I've been very pleased.
Start your journey to better health with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first preferred order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
So what's the trouble here, mister?
I don't understand what happened. I checked my stuff in Chicago, and when we landed in L.A., I came to baggage claim, and there it was, my $10,000 canola analyzer in pieces, completely trashed.
Just the facts, buddy. What did you have it packed in?
Well, just the box it came in, but there was all this foam and thick cardboard. It looks sturdy enough.
That's what they all think, pal, till it's too late.
What am I gonna do now? My boss is gonna kill me.
Here's some good advice for you. The next time you transport anything valuable, put it in a Star Case, leading manufacturer of custom reusable shipping cases.
So where do I get a Star Case?
Now you're getting smart, bub. You can find everything you need to know to order one direct at starcase.com or call 800-822-STAR, where a friendly, knowledgeable sales engineer will be glad to help you design the custom case you need. That's starcase.com or 800-822-7827.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-940-6161. That's 1-800-940-6161. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-940-6161. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Do the proposed tax and estate planning changes have you concerned about your future? The time to prepare is right now. Take advantage of a no-obligation conversation with a member of the Wealth Management Group team. It's a complimentary conversation focused solely on you, your goals, and how changes can impact your family's future. Call 833-WMG-PLAN or visit investwithwmg.com.
Securities and financial planning offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
Finding the right employees is a struggle, and the wrong hire can cost you tens of thousands of dollars. I'm Andrew Krabschetz with redballoon.work. Every week we connect reliable job seekers with serious companies without all today's woke nonsense. If you're looking for motivated, values-aligned talent, then post your jobs on redballoon.work and use promo code SALEM for 10% off your first month. That's redballoon.work and promo code SALEM, because life's too short to deal with a bad hire.
AM 560, The Answer.
So, did you get the invitation to go to Justin's bachelor party?
He's taking Tom Hanks and Adrian Smed, and I saw what they did in 1984, and I'm not going through that with them. So I won't do that. Also, I hope Bradley Cooper and Zach Galifianakis are not invited either.
Or Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
How many people are going?
We got about 8.
His, and his dad's
Where are you
going.
staying?
We're staying at the Wyndham Grand Desert in Las Vegas.
What room number?
Wyndham. Where is that on? Is that on Fremont or is that off the Strip?
No, that's off the Strip. Part of a timeshare. We got friends and family.
Oh, okay. All right.
And
You
his
gonna go to
dad's
Red
going?
Rock? Maybe hang out with Floyd Mayweather.
Might do that. Might go see the new Vegas eyeball that's still.
Oh, the eyeball. Yeah.
I would go see that.
What else?
They're
What
going
else
to go
are
to
you
the
doing?
library. What else are you going to do?
Prayer circles.
Are you going to see any shows? Celine Dion still there? I haven't been there in a
Celine
while.
Dion's sick.
No, I specifically
Adele's
said no shows at all whatsoever.
Why?
I hate shows. Going out to Vegas is you keep that party going. Shows don't.
Oh, yeah.
Are you? Do you know how to gamble?
Besides skateboard, can you skateboard and gamble at the same time?
Do you know how to play any table games? Seriously, do you?
No, I'm really good at roulette, and my dad is really good at guiding me at craps.
Okay, all right.
All right, well,
roulette
there's
and craps
hope.
are the go-to.
Oh, good, and then Dad could keep the clamps on your wallet. So that's good.
He'll be the one funding it.
All right. Just if some women come up to you and tell you you're really cute, don't believe them. Stay away from those women.
Or if they want to take you
Yeah.
someplace. Oh, I have a fun place. It's your bachelor party.
Do you want a party?
Let's go. I've got a
I
fun
want
place to go party.
No, you don't.
No. And watch
All
your
right.
drinks.
All right.
Be careful. And if you're swimming and drinking, make sure you don't go under the water line, okay?
Oh, okay. Okay, Mom. He's not 11.
Well, I worry about
all right.
these things.
Okay. His dad's going to be there. He's been fine.
I know,
He's going to be chaperone, thank God.
All right. Well,
Vegas will eat that kid up otherwise.
God.
Oh, jeez.
well, good luck and have fun because you deserve it. All right. Thanks also to Keith Conrad, who's in for Quinn McCarthy. We're back here bright and early tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Now into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
The McHenry County Sheriff's Office conducting a death investigation in unincorporated Crystal Lake this morning, and bail denied for a man charged with the killing of a 9-year-old. WIND Chicago News Time, 9 o'clock.
They only have 2 weeks left. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, to prepare for the first Republican presidential debate.